And welcome back, everybody, to Who is Amateur King Group A. Welcome, everyone. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP, and with me for the first time casting is the one, the only, the Terran enjoyer himself, Miguel's Tier 3 sub. Welcome, AsherBro.
Hello. Oh, I'm Rufus. Yes, let's go. Let's go.
Of course, mate. Of course, you're Rufus. And of course, I had to bring you on when we're going to be casting one of our newest Ducklings, mate.
Yeah, let's go. Alrighty.
Oh god, exactly. We're just diving straight into our very first series and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad LE. We have the Korean Terran player himself representing Team NV. It is Jinioh.
And spawning down the bottom right, the red Terran playing for his beautiful new team, the CranKy Ducklings. It is Vindicta. Look at that duck. So cute.
Mate, it's beautiful.
It's right at home.
Oh my god, yes. For those wondering, we did make an announcement a couple of weeks ago that we did end up signing Vindicta. So he's our boy, of course. We have to be casting him in this tournament. And we'll see how he does. You know, there's a reason why I brought you on as well. You know, you're kind of my Terran expert for the day. Especially because you're pretty familiar with how Vindicta plays overall, right?
Yeah, I definitely should have a good idea of what's going on. It is TBT, so who knows really, but I'll do my best.
Beautiful.
It's all looking pretty standard so far.
Yeah, there were some last minute changes to this group. !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the Liquipedia page. There were some last minute changes. Unfortunately, there was a forfeit, so we won't have a Zerg player today. 3 points. Unfortunately, he was busy with work, so he won't be joining us. Also, originally, Jinioh wasn't meant to be a part of this group either. We were meant to have a Protoss player Farmy, but he was also unavailable.
I was really looking forward to seeing 3-point play. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of wanted to see what Vindicta would be able to do to deal with his crazy style, but this is a good replacement. Jinioh is a really solid Terran, and it's kind of a battle of the streamers actually. This one, he's got quite a good stream going himself, and always fun and friendly actually to jump in on his stream.
Yeah, I was surprised to see his in-game name is Twitch Jinioh. Like,
yeah. Sub to me, please.
he's shameless right now. He's probably streaming his POV as we speak. So
no doubt.
Maybe we'll give him a raid after the tournament. We'll see.
Alright, so we're seeing both players doing their due diligence, just scouting around to see if there's any proxies nearby in dangerous locations. And we're going to see 2 Reaper, 1 Hellion move out for Jinioh, and just the 2 Reapers for Vindicta while he makes a Cyclone at home. So it's a pretty safe opening from Vindicta, but he will have his natural disturbed just for a little while.
Yeah, here we go. We did see that the Reapers actually missed each other, so natural is going to be delayed for a little bit. At the same time, the Reapers of Vindicta get into the main base, and hey, they're going to be able to delay this starport a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's just being annoying with this, just trying to get a bit of scouting and delay what he can.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and that's a big pick off.
Yeah, a little bit of mismicro there. Vindicta leaves some of his units idle, and actually all these Reapers are going to get cleaned up. Up.
Yeah, this Reaper's donezo. Little chunks of legs lying there. You hate to see it.
Oh god. Hey, look. Okay, one Terran is gonna win today. Okay, it's like
That's true. I can be happy for Terran. I always cheer for Terran.
There you go.
It looks like setting up a bit of a double prong attack here, which is actually going to be kind of difficult to deal with the few units Vindicta's got out so far.
Yeah, exactly. But thankfully, with the lock-on, with these Cyclones, he's able to clean everything up in the main base. But once again, Jinioh gets in and delays the CC even further.
Yeah, this is a huge delays for Vindicta, who's only just finishing off his CC while the orbital for Jinioh is already completed.
Oh, so already a great start for Jinioh. Again, these are like these little small advantages in the early game, but I guess the early game is probably where it matters most, to be honest. So Vindicta's gonna have to make something happen here. He does have the advantage in Cyclones, but oh god, shortly another Cyclone's gonna be coming out of Raven as well for Jinioh.
Yeah, so I actually saw Seether doing this build just recently, where you use these 2 Cyclones to take map control. And then as the Cyclones of the opponent fight you for the map control, this Banshee that's coming out for Vindicta is just going to sneak in the back and try to pick up some SCVs.
Boy, so hopefully he's going to be able to make it happen here. Again, like, as you said, a lot of this relies on these Cyclones being distracted. Jinioh Cyclones, I mean. So we'll see if Vindicta's going to be able to pull it off. Especially because he is kind of delaying his own tech, or at least he's delaying his Raven to kind of make this happen.
Yeah, so I think the main advantage here for Vindicta is the map control, but you can see Jinioh is playing it extremely safe, just staying on the ramp until he's ready to live.
We do see both Cyclones lock on, and it looks like they will trade for one at the same time. Yo, that Banshee, it sneaks in.
And there we go. This is a massive nuisance for Jinioh, right when he wants to push out. And it looks like he's just going to pull back. So huge disruption, actually.
Yeah. You know, it even leaves his third CC a little bit vulnerable as well. Banshee even gets more damage in the main.
Yeah, just for the sake of bringing the whole army home, this is huge. But 7 SCVs, actually more than paying for itself.
Yeah, exactly. In the end, it looks like the Banshee will be cleaned up.
Oh,
trades!
Trades with the Cyclone. Cracked. Yeah.
For a moment there, I was like, yo, did Vindicta, is he gonna leave his Banshee idle as well? But nah, man, it was all calculated, all planned. Takes out the Cyclone. Damn.
Part of the plan. He's a duckling, mate. It's always part of the plan.
Oh god, so this is a really nice way to bounce back here for Vindicta, especially because he was disrupted earlier. He even takes a lead in the SCVs, which is, again, pretty surprising.
Yeah, so I think Jinioh's way back into this game right now is this 4th on location. Very greedy, very aggressive with the economy. And if Vindicta catches onto this, we might be seeing a push setting up towards the ramp just to punish this setup with his... I believe Vindicta has a small army lead at the moment.
Yeah, he does have the lead in the tanks. He doesn't have a lead in Ravens, which is a little bit worrisome, as we have 3 Ravens here for Jinioh. But to make up for that, and I feel like Vindicta, he knows he's behind the Raven count, so he's already working on Vikings.
Yeah, so we're just going to see a bit of skirmishing through the middle. It's a very important stage of TVT just to... Can you get this Raven before it drops the turrets? Oh, and huge disable on the other Raven. That's actually really clever use of their energy. Trading a small amount of energy on his Raven for a large amount of energy on the other Raven.
Yeah.
And he's really stalled this push out.
I'm just shocked that 1, Vindicta kept his own Raven alive. 2, he sniped 2, so he just kind of like equalized in Ravens.
Yeah, this is huge. Suddenly the Raven advantage is completely gone, and this Viking advantage is going to become a huge deal. We might even see some Liberators coming out soon to take advantage of this.
Oh yeah, definitely, as we do have 6 Vikings already, meanwhile only 2 for Jinioh, so we'll see if Vindicta is able to recognize the advantage that he does have. In the meantime, you know, it is good that Jinioh is able to force a bunch of sieges out here, and so far he is getting away with this 3rd on location.
Yeah, so this is very important for Jinioh, just to make sure that the army can't set up in an inconvenient spot for him to start putting pressure on that base. So even if he does have the small army, he can just be a bit of a nuisance, cause Vindicta to siege and unsiege, and looks like he's happy to just skirmish with the Vikings for now.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it's a risky thing to do because he is a little bit vulnerable, and I love that he takes note of that, so he just lands the Vikings. He respects the amount that Vindicta does have, but again, he still has to be a little bit careful here. And interesting, Jinioh, he's kind of given up on even trying to catch up with Vikings and goes for a drop instead.
Yeah, so it's a good way just to relieve a little bit of the pressure, just to get something happening on Vindicta's side of the map, because this tank and Viking slow push is quite impressive. It's definitely getting a little scary for him.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, I don't know if Vindicta saw it. It looks like his Marine did barely catch wind of this drop, and yeah, he saw. He's coming back. It looks like he's gonna be here in time.
There's beautiful map vision.
Oh. Yeah, he even disables one of the medevacs, so like not even everything can be dropped here. Yeah,
this would be easy cleanup, and it has given Jinioh a bit of breathing room, but it's a fair bit of supply to lose all at once.
Yeah.
And pretty much no damage.
Exactly, like 5 SCVs went down, but again, that's relatively negligible. What's important as well is that the medevacs were sniped as well. They weren't able to escape, so was that worth it? We'll see, because soon Vindicta he's going to be pushing out again, as actually both players are going to be looking to take their 4th bases. I say both, actually, Vindicta. I thought sorry, I thought I saw one on the way for Jinioh.
It looks like he's just poking here and there. That scan was... I don't know why he scanned there, but that's exactly where the army was. There you go. I think he was scanning the dog. He just wanted to see if the dog was okay.
It is a good dog, eh? It is. Oh god, meanwhile here we go. The spotter depot of Jinioh is going to catch wind of this, but he just sent out a drop, so he just barely has, he barely has any marines here to protect his tanks.
Yeah, you can see the map vision of Vindicta, all his spotters out everywhere. It comes in huge here. Not only can he see incoming threats, but he can see where his army can sneak through as well.
Yeah, exactly. And even here, we do see that double drop does get intercepted by Vindicta as well. So, I mean, the amount of damage this can deal is kind of, again, he just can't really get too much done. There's even a tank here to defend.
Yeah, it's a very impressive defense. But meanwhile, this push up in the top left, it's not really getting too much done. It's not really threatening any bases. It's definitely annoying for Jinioh to deal with, but this is interesting.
Yeah, Vindicta, he sneaks into the natural base. Gas Guys is going to be going down. The drop across the map is actually dealing some damage now. A couple of depots do go down. Meanwhile, here we go. Jinioh is going to try and break the tanks.
Yeah, he's jumping straight on the tank. Oh, but it's a costly attack. And I think this is quite good for Vindicta. He's just going to do these annoying little drops and let the friendly fire from the tanks clean them up. That's so annoying to deal with. Oh, and even picks up the 1 marine.
Vindicta just kind of flaunting over his opponent a little bit there. Again, like Jinioh, he just didn't have any marines left. Like, they finally come down from the main base, but 3 tanks go down almost for free.
Yeah, he's styling on him, and the tanks are back up. This is looking like a very difficult position to break through for Jinioh.
Yeah, exactly. In range of the tanks from the low ground. More marines go down. At the same time, we do have a double drop, but yo, it does nothing.
Yeah, this is a bit of a masterclass of defense and attack at the same time, and this is the kind of... oh, and GG. There we go.
Vindicta, with maybe a bit of a shaky start to the game, actually looked so good there in the mid-game.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Just utilizing his map vision to the fullest just to control the area, and yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, there were a couple of little things, right? Like the Banshee dealing a lot of damage, even like sniping the Cyclone towards the end. Something that you don't see too often as well is that he had like a random sensor tower out there, like towards the north as well. Not really covering anything, but like, again, just for vision, just to catch drops. It's really, really nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, TVT is just a game of map vision and knowing where everything is. And part of knowing where everything is knowing where it isn't. So yeah, that's just great job there.
Definitely.
It kind of felt as well like it wasn't like very aggressively like picking him apart. It was more just kind of like taking away the options one by one.
Yeah. I have to wonder how Jinioh is going to adapt here, because I think something that's important is that it was Jinioh being the one being aggressive, like going for all these drops, you know, trying to outposition his opponent and kind of being shut down, and maybe recognizing that from Vindicta and being like, okay, like this guy, his vision is insane. Maybe I should calm down a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw him maybe slow things down and go for more of maybe a Viking based composition. So the medevacs, the drops, the multitask didn't quite work out for him, so maybe we'll see him try to fight out the air advantage this time.
Yeah. We'll see if he's able to adapt on the fly. It's also one of those things where I don't know if they play each other too often. To be fair, Vindicta, he does ladder on the Korean server, so I'm sure this isn't the first time they face.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure I've seen them play before.
Fair enough.
Meanwhile, bit of news in the chat there. You see that?
Oh. Yeah? What do you mean? Oh, I do see
there
that.
There we go.
I misread that. I thought he was just saying it again. Apparently, mate, 3-point, he's playing tonight.
Let's go. We're going to see a bit of Zerg so we can have your Zerg bias come through. It's okay.
What do you mean? What bias? What are you talking about, mate? I just speak facts here, okay?
The Zerg apologist.
You say that, mate. 3-point, I'm sure he's never made a lunker in his life, okay? He's not...
Yeah, it's a bit too far into the game.
True. Oh, God. All right, but here we go. We are diving into our second game of our first series and spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2,000 Atmospheres LE. We have our South Korean Terran player representing Team NV. It is Jinioh.
And spawning in the bottom left. As the red Terran representing CranKy, he is pushing P, and he is Vindicta.
Oh, God. What are your thoughts on our fanfare, by the way? Like, I don't...
It'd be so weird if I didn't hear it. I'm just so used to it now.
No, yeah, 100%. There are times where Kuro does a production and I'm just there to cast, and the camera zooms in and there's no trumpets, and I'm like, this feels wrong.
Nah, mate. Honestly, sometimes when I'm playing a ladder game, I'll start off and I'll just hear the
God. Yeah, for better or for worse, it is accustomed to us now. But we'll see how game 2 goes. Another interesting thing to take note of, and I take note of these silly things, is that Jinioh is a lot less shameless on the Korean server.
What do you mean by that?
He doesn't have thanks sub, and he doesn't have Twitch. He doesn't have his Twitch username. Yeah.
I see.
What did you think I meant?
I don't know. Maybe gameplay. Like. No, this is for serious. The Korea server. And we are actually seeing pretty much the same opener. So Jinioh, he did this last time as well. He's gone for a gas first opening, so his factory is slightly faster. So this does mean that with his Reaper Hellion pressure, the Hellions are a tiny bit faster and he can be a bit more aggressive out on the map with it. But we are seeing a reactor first, so this is likely to be a lot of Reapers and Hellions, probably 5 and 3.
Oh boy, so we were talking about how, maybe Jinioh is going to calm down in game 2. He's like, nah, mate, let's double down, okay? Let's
let's go.
Let's go. Oh, God. So far, Vindicta hasn't quite been able to spot. I mean, maybe he would have been able to spot the timing of the factory and taken note that maybe it was a little bit sooner, a little bit faster, but he hasn't seen the reactor yet, so still a little bit in the dark.
Yeah, meanwhile, Vindicta actually going for the same opening, but with a Rax before gas. So, depending on who is looking to be the more aggressive, this could work out in Jinioh's favor.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if he does end up going for that switch. For the time being, our players are just, just backing up on their units, getting ready to eventually push out across the map. And a lot of it's going to be about, again, has typically positioning in TVT, who shoots first, and that control.
Yeah, this could be one of those crazy games where both of them just kind of... What is it the Tesla say? 2 ships passing in the night. Like, it just... one goes one way, one goes the other way, and suddenly all's breaking loose in their bases.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of happened in game 1, to be fair, right? Where the Reapers kind of missed each other and damage was being done. But I guess this is kind of that scenario, but cranked up to 11.
Yeah, so we are seeing a small divergence here. Jinioh is going for a tank drop after the initial Reapers and Hellions, so very aggressive opening. And I think... Yeah, Vindicta should be okay. He should have a Cyclone coming out around when that tank drop is arriving. So this pressure is actually going to be pretty nice for him, and he should be able to catch on to what's going on.
Yeah, here we go. The drop does move out. Vindicta does run into the army, even spots a medevac as it's forced to unload, and Vindicta actually takes a little bit of a better fight here. Does swallow up all those Hellions and the Reapers.
Yeah, really great micro there. Loses only 2 units for the 5 units, but these units are trapped now. Meanwhile, this is buying him time across the map to set up his defenses.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where he sees the drop, or the potential for the drop coming across the map. It was delayed, and that Cyclone, it should be coming out.
Yeah, with the Cyclone and the Banshee, there should be no problem at all to clean up. And this Banshee might even be reactive based on this tank drop. And yeah, there should be no issue at all for him to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see, because surprisingly, Jinioh, he's still committed to this. As he boosts across the map, he's like, mate, you may see what I'm doing, but I'm still going to be able to pull it off anyway. Nope. So he doesn't get into the main.
Yeah, so this is first person I saw this. Maru did this against Clem in one of these tournaments recently, where he just 3-0'd him, absolutely bopped him, set up this tank drop, and then just rallied across the map constantly, and just adds pressure and pressure and pressure, and it can get out of control really quickly. But yeah, as soon as he sees the Banshee, he's out of there.
Oh my god! Meanwhile, we have a lock on the Cyclone. Even scares to try and take out the medevac. It's gonna be so close. We need a couple more shots. Ah!
Oh, so close. Recognizes that the boost was running out and saw his opportunity, just not enough. But this is looking... yeah, pretty good for him. They trade out power units and a bit of a reset here.
Yeah, exactly. Even though the medevac didn't get taken out by the Cyclone, the Marines were able to focus it down anyway, so a very nice defense here by Vindicta. As you said, it's a bit of a shame that he lost his his Banshee, so he won't be able to harass across the map, but overall, nice defense here by Vindicta.
Yeah, I think considering how the last game went, he'll be pretty happy with this. Just you can see immediately already setting up that map control again, taking the towers, and he'll be happy just to sit back for a little while and find his timing.
Yeah, exactly. He's just kind of chilling here. Meanwhile, Jinioh knows that he has to try and come back, and just like the previous game, we see the third on location already finishing up. So being a little bit greedy here, but I mean, you kind of have to after losing like so much wind out of your sails early on, and we'll see if he can get away with it.
Yeah, I like it, especially knowing that he's going to be aggressive with his opening and out on the map. This is a pretty safe bet that you're going to be able to get this up, at least at first.
Yeah, that's already being morphed into that. Orbital is already setting up. Meanwhile, Vindicta across the map, we actually see him double down on these NG bays, working on his upgrades. So looking to maybe potentially hit the timing later on. Jinioh, again, not too far behind with that either. And yeah.
Yeah, so a good scan from Jinioh here. Just wants to find out if he's facing bio or mech. Everything looks normal. The buildings are buildings. And we're just seeing Vindicta poking around, seeing what he can get. And I actually like this angle for him. I think with a few good Matrix, it's probably going to cause a lift on this third.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if he's able to respond in time. There we go. One Matrix already on the first tank. We do see a bit of a siege up, but he was only able to take one of the tanks.
Yeah, so with the turrets, he'll just take out these Marines, snipes the tank, and it looks like they're just going to trade out again. I'm not sure I love that for Vindicta, but they both keep their Ravens, so just another... Oh, actually, he lost a Raven.
Yeah. He came in with 2 Ravens, only 1 leaves, so I don't know how I feel about that overall there by Vindicta. He also lost 2 of his tanks, trading it only for 1. So a little bit questionable. It's possible that he just felt a lot of pressure, seeing that there was already a third up and running, like, oh my god, I have to get something done here, but yeah.
Yeah, possibly a bit over-eager and just lost out the fight with the turrets there, but we're still going into a fairly even mid-game here. The supplies are almost dead even.
Yeah, so far so good. You also touched on it before, and I'm actually not too familiar with this. Does Vindicta ever play mech in TVT?
Yeah, he does. He plays mech a little bit. I think he actually has a very strong mech. Like one of his, as we saw in the previous game, one of his biggest strengths is his positional play. And the mech is really all about like anticipating the attacks and being set up preemptively. So I think it does play to his strengths, but at the same time, yeah, but it's a little bit out of the meta, and I think arguably Bio is stronger at the moment.
Fair enough. Meanwhile, I don't know if you noticed, but Jinioh, he actually just takes map control back as he loses it by clearing up a bunch of Marines, but Vindicta does send a couple more to replace the ones he lost.
Yeah, this is that little mini game where there's one Marine, and then one Marine takes out that Marine, and then that Marine calls his cousins, and suddenly you've got medevacs, and it's all out war.
Oh my god.
Here we see the 3 cousins for the 2.
Yeah. Yo, I heard you jumped my boy last night. Let's go. Aye.
Oh, and there's 4 here.
Jinioh, he takes full control, and as he does that, he moves out. Ooh, we see a scan, barely misses the army, but confirms it's not here at the third.
Yes, I think he probably sees what he needs to see there, and he'll be scrambling to get some idea of where this army is. This is a fairly common move to clear out vision on one of the watchtowers and then immediately push towards it, so I'm sure he's aware of that, and this scan should confirm it.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Vindicta, he's going to try and meet up. Unfortunately, he's a little bit unsieged. Oh my god, anti-armor missile on his bio as well.
Yeah, the Dorito dust coats the entire bio, and that just puts a hold on this defense until that's over, but it's looking like he's not in too much trouble just yet.
Yeah, exactly. Nice snipes here on these medevacs, but the tanks are continuing to leapfrog forward here. But Vindicta, once again, for the second game in a row, does take control of the skies.
Yeah, we are seeing it with this air dominance again, and beautiful control with the Viking, just picking off whatever he can, and this really adds up quite quickly. We can already see him using that advantage to drop on these tanks again.
Oh god, yeah, he's so quick and decisive with these drops. Takes down 3 tanks immediately. Oh my god.
Yeah, 3 tanks for 5 Marines, that's an amazing trade. And suddenly this push has lost all of its steam.
Yeah, oh, with the unsiege, no, I don't like this. 1 tank goes down immediately, and now Vindicta, he's taking chase. He's going to be able to chase all of this down, and Jinioh, what was that, like 6 tanks down the drain? For 0.
Yeah. That was very efficient trades from Vindicta. We can see the patience, we can see the air control, all adding up to, yeah, very efficient fight there. And suddenly he's got this massive tank advantage that he can use to start putting pressure on the bases.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's got almost more than double the tank count here compared to Jinioh. He's moving out across map. Jinioh, he's out of position as well. I'm sure he was expecting his opponent to chase him here to the 4th base. Instead, Vindicta rotating around towards the 3rd.
Yeah, we are seeing Jinioh a little bit slow to retake that map control, and he is going to be punished here. So you should see it just now. Yeah, great move to pick up the tanks to get them there straight away.
Yeah, he boosts on over to that 3rd base, so he's going to be able to siege up in time, but again, he still has a tank disadvantage, so can he really break through, especially because now Vindicta has a Liberator?
Yeah, immediately breaks off some bio, and he might be thinking about going for a counter-attack here if he thinks he can't clear this out.
Yeah, the Marines, they're moving out across the map. Meanwhile, Lib sieges up, does force the unsiege of Jinioh, and Vindicta, he's just edging ever closer.
Yeah, so I expect that he will notice at some point that there is not quite the same amount of army as his here. And we might see him, after he takes his base, to pick up straight into the main.
Oh yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, no, 2 tanks on siege immediately. Vindicta, he just pounces on the opportunity, he cleans everything up, takes down the 3rd base. At the same time, Jinioh is across the map, but the reinforcements are here at home.
Yeah, he's just all over this defense, exactly the right amount of units at home. And with that cleanup, that's pretty much all of Jinioh's chances to come back into this game.
Oh, oh my god.
Slightly biased casting here.
Nah. What are you talking about? The most unbiased cast possible, as Vindicta is just dominating in TVT. Some of the best TVT in North America, period. Let's be honest. Juanito ain't got nothing on Miguelito as we see him step on board, takes control of the main base.
Yeah, I hope Mari's not watching this because he's going to be seriously worried as Vindicta takes the win. Yeah, so kind of the same story as the last game, just towards the mid-game. Just the exact right split of offense and defense, and anticipating his opponent's moves led to the win there for Vindicta.
Yeah, GG. Congratulations, Vindicta, with a clean 2-0 over his opponent. It wasn't like a complete wash, like Jinioh put up a really good fight, but there were just like these little like clinical decisions and little movements here and there that Vindicta was just able to capitalize on. He looked really good.
Yeah, like you said, so decisive. Just the second that he took that air control to immediately drop on the tanks, it's one of those things where it's kind of like do first, think later. Like if you can do it even faster than you think of the idea, it's so hard to defend.
Oh yeah. Oof, definitely. So very, very well prepared here by Vindicta. Unfortunately, there is only 1 Terran in this group, so you know he won't be able to flaunt his TVT skills later on, unless maybe there's a rematch in the lower bracket or something. But yeah, so far Vindicta, he moves on to the winners match.
Yeah, we will have to see what he can do against the more difficult races, but he's got the easy race, Terran, out of the way.
Oh, God. Ay. No bias.
No, of course not.
Oh, God. But yeah, so he's going to be waiting for his next opponent. We originally assumed that our Zerg player just wasn't going to be available, but we did get confirmation that he is here. He is here to play. He wants his chance at making it to the playoff bracket, so we are going to have a ZVP.
Let's go. Normally I wouldn't be so excited for a ZVP, but as 3-point ZVP, I am very excited to see what kind of crazy builds it has got prepared.
Oh yeah, he's a very unique player, and that's what I love about this tournament period. It is kind of a way to feature these up-and-coming Korean players. You know, we're not talking about Maru, we're not talking about Solar or anything like that. These are these Korean players. They're pros that honestly are really good at the game, but it's just so difficult to break into the Korean scene, to break into GSL, and thankfully there's a tournament like this that can, you know, showcase them.
Yeah, it's really good to have all these players of a similar level because, yeah, like you said, it's, I guess, kind of like when the GSL had that Code A, Code S. Like, it is the people who are like right on the brink of breaking into that top pro level, and then yeah, just mechanically, it's some of the tip-top StarCraft you'll see still.
Yeah, of course it's a little bit lopsided because, you know, old mate Vindicta comes in here and clearly he's the favorite, so...
I mean, he plays for the Ducklings, though. You can't compete with that.
True. So, you know, all these other Koreans, they're basically vying for second place. Oh, God.
That's alright, that's why we've got him on the ping. We've got him on ping, Korea.
True. He's going to be playing with a ping disadvantage, so maybe that'll be enough. But of course we are getting ready for our ZVP, and oh boy, what do you know about 3-point, by the way? Like, I'm surprised you're familiar with him, because he's like, you know, if you know him, it's kind of like a niche scene that's aware of 3-point.
Yeah, so I know him because I played him in the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the Open Cup that you run. And so I didn't really know what to expect, and then at 2 minutes 30, there were 3 roaches at my door, and so now I understand what to expect.
Oh God! Immediately you slipped into Vindicta's DMs and you're like, mate, all right, 2 minutes, this guy is crazy.
Help me out, this guy's cracked. I've never seen this before. Yeah, so to be honest, I thought I was just getting skill checked, and then I saw him in a few other games, and he does actually quite like these very aggressive openers, and he uses them for tempo as well, so he'll take a bit of an advantage in the early game, use it to macro up behind, and hit a very strong timing later on. So I would expect to see that kind of player.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, we get to see it a lot in Sparkling Tuna Cup. He does have these very aggressive openers, but that doesn't mean that he can't play the late game. I know Chase brings this up a lot. I don't know if you remember it. There was a very sad ZVZ between 3-point and Chappie, where where like Chappie came in and he killed like 40 drones or something crazy like that. He just crippled the economy of 3-point, and then 3-point just built a wall. He just turtled up, and he came back with like swarm hosts and vipers and like all this crazy late game, and it's like, it was so heartbreaking to see Chappie crumble.
Absolutely brutal. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely respect the amount of strategy that goes into being able to eke out these little edges from behind and eventually see what's going to happen 50 minutes in the future. But oh boy, I mean, I feel so sorry for Chappie. We were telling him, you should try this new tournament, it's an open cup, you can do well. 1 minute into the 1 hour into the first game, it's like, oh no.
And we never saw Chappie sign up again.
Nope.
Oh God, feels bad, man. Feels bad. But yeah, 3-point, he's again a very unique player, a very stylistic player. That's also what I love about this, is that there are a decent amount of players here that kind of have their own unique approach to the game. They're not just, you know, your stock standard faceless Korean player. Like, no, they have their own personalities to them as well. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to take down a more veteran player like Rebellion.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Rebellion. What can you tell me about him?
He did have a name change, I think, last year. Previously, he was known as Gyolzing. If you're an old school player, yes. Yeah. Gyolzing, he used to be very, very, not dominant, but he was very consistent with like Olima leagues. He would be there every single week with those online tournaments. Again, he never made it into Code S, but he's just always been here.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I am familiar with that name.
There you go. And meanwhile, oh boy. Let's go! Sporting in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres, LE, rocking that Squid Game portrait, representing Genesis Gaming and going for a 12 pool. It is 3-point.
Alright, and spawning in the bottom left, our Protoss player looking to defend the crazy strategies of 3-point. It is Rebellion.
Oh boy. So as we were kind of alluding to, I don't imagine we're going to see a normal standard ZVP, but I'm curious to see how dedicated this is going to be, because unlike some other players, 3-point didn't send a drone out to proxy hatch or anything like that.
Yeah, so it looks like he is just doing a standard 12 pool. You're saying this is the only Zerg trick that I know. He started his queen and he sent his drone down, and if it wasn't blocked, he would cancel the queen to start the hatchery. But it was blocked, so his queen is halfway done.
The Terran analysis comes in.
These are not the kind of things you have to know if you're a Zerg player, unless you're at the top levels, because you can just, you know, make links. But there you go.
There you go, mate. There you go. The Lings are flooding across the map. What's important is that Rebellion did probe scout, and he didn't waste too much time on the low ground, so he knows that it's a 12 full opener. We immediately see a full wall off. We have one Zealot. We have a probe behind it to help body block a little bit, and we even see a Chrono on that second Zealot as well.
Yeah, so he's very well prepared, and this is just one of those little mini games where both players do have to do their due diligence with the little micro games, but we're probably not likely to see any one player get a huge advantage out of this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the advantages come from the responses here. Like, we even saw the second pylon thrown down next to the first one. So Rebellion was a little bit afraid that maybe there would be, like, the Lings would slip in and things would get a little bit chaotic. And this does mean that, like, the tech choice for Rebellion will most likely be here on the low ground as well.
Yeah, we are seeing lots of gateway units coming out straight away. I'm not sure if this is typically what you see against this. Looks like quite an aggressive response.
Yeah, it's a response because otherwise you're stuck with two Zealots and they're just useless. It's like,
yeah.
So you got to make use of them somehow. So now that they've done their job as bouncers to the base, to the club of Rebellion, now he has to try and get some value. And if the Zerg player didn't, again, like, slipped up with queen production or lost too many Lings, then, like, this push can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it looks like he is getting some valuable scouting with this shade as well. Probably just going to check the Ling count, check the drone count, try to get an idea of what is up against here. We are seeing pretty quick double gas from 3-point here.
Yeah. Again, because of the 12 pool, like, your first gas is just so late. So it's like, you got to make up for it. You got to catch up in that gas production, or in that gas gathering, I should say. So he does end up taking 2 to try and compensate for that. Meanwhile, all the gateway units are here, and he almost gets the Overlord. Yeah,
nice amount of pressure coming out here, but looks like he's seen what he needs to see, and he's... Oh, nope, he's back.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, he should keep an eye on whether or not a third base is taken, you know? Like, are we going to see a 2-base all-in follow-up from here? The Adepts do take a little bit too much damage, but at some point, I'm sure he wants to slip in and confirm whether or not there is a lair.
He does snipe a tumor, and that's one of those little things where maybe... This is just me, but I feel like you get in the head of the Zerg player when you snap the first tumor. You're setting the tone for the game. You're telling them, I'm the big dog here.
Oh god, especially with a Reaper, right? You're asserting dominance, you know?
We are seeing pretty quick charge. Is this going to be a bit of a Zealot timing coming out from Rebellion?
Yeah. So we were focusing a lot on what 3-point is doing, which, to be fair, is noteworthy just because he's also going for a 2-base play with a very fast lair. But likewise, Rebellion, he doesn't risk things by going for a third base. Instead, he's also going to be hitting a very strong timing with charge.
Is this going to be a Nidus coming out of 3-point?
I wonder because he hasn't started Roach Speed, so it's either Roach Speed or a Nidus, one or the other. Okay, there we go. I was like, wait, what's going on? But it is for
neither.
Yeah. He throws down the Spire, mate. But yeah, essentially going 2-base Roach. But War Prism is moving out, and so far, it is barely scouted.
Yeah, so great vision setting out those spotterlings. Like we saw in Vindicta's game, it's very important to use these cheap units just to get a bit of vision out on the map and see what's going on. And you can catch things like this.
Yeah, exactly. Also, to take note, Rebellion, he's doubling down, by the way, and throwing down a Dark Shrine. So, DTs,
when behind,
exactly.
Dark Shrine. When ahead, Dark Shrine. And then in the middle, Dark Shrine.
Anytime Dark Shrine, mate. Let's go. Zealots are going to be able to rock up. They do get a decent round. It looks like they will force a cancel of the third.
Yeah, nice job forcing the cancel there. Just kind of poking around with the prism, seeing that, just double checking that 3 points got his defense on point, and we do see a third going down for him as well, which is scouted too by this supervisor link.
It has a lot of discipline. It's not even on A move, it's on hold position, otherwise it would just be attacking the Nexus. But yeah, the link does spot it. Oh, meanwhile, the DTs, they don't risk it, they immediately get morphed into Archons.
Yeah, straight into an Archon drop, and this is a very good way just to get, I guess not free damage, but to trade shields for damage is almost free for... Oh, and out he goes.
Oh, exactly, because you know what? We do see 3 points sending a mass amount of roaches across the map. Charge did finish up, +1 finished up as well, and because of that, he's going to be able to out-kite this to some extent. But oh my god, he powers the shield battery.
Huge brain. Let's go.
Oh my god.
This is one of those situations where when two players are going for a very aggressive, almost all-in build into each other, it tends to cancel out in such a weird way where it's like, I'm attacking you, and you're attacking me, no, I'm attacking you. And we might actually just see a bit of a normal macro game through the mid-game now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, we have more tech being thrown down. The immortal count is slowly getting higher. Forge for upgrades as well. Again, it's not the most typical army composition that we're going to see here from Rebellion, but I mean, against roaches, it's going to do the trick.
Let's have a look what we've got coming here. Burrow and Drilling Claws. I have seen this making a bit of a resurgence lately. The Burrowing Claws roaches, and it's a very fun way for creative players to break through defenses. It's just one of those, kind of like one of those gotcha moments where if you can get a few roaches into each mineral line without the other player knowing, it causes such a huge amount of chaos and damage all at once.
Yeah, it can be very frustrating as well. It's like, oh, I've been doing so well up until now. I've been able to keep up with my economy. I've been able to tech up as well, and then bam, suddenly you have roaches in every single base. It's like, oh, oh god. So
I remember I saw Cyril playing with the burrowing roaches against Raynor in the recent IEM, and I was pretty amazed by how much such a fast player can get done with them. So it'll be exciting to see what a talented, quick mechanical player like threepoint can get done with them.
Yeah, exactly. Roaches are moving out across the map. There's not that many of them, to be fair. You don't need that many to one-shot probes, but they are moving out across the map. Do we have detection? We do have one observer available, but it's in the middle of the map. It is not ready. We do have some cannons being thrown down just for safety, but not in the natural or the main.
So I don't actually know. Is the wall a wall? Can they go under this adept?
Oh, yeah.
The wall is not a wall.
No, he thinks it's a wall, but it's not a wall. Yo, at the same time, the main army is pushing towards the third base, so regardless of what happens, damage is going to be done as the riches are sneaking in.
Yeah, so while this distraction is happening, we're probably going to see him split 4 and 4 into each mineral line. And this doesn't really have to do anything, this poke at the third, it just pulls the army away, and here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Roaches in the natural, roaches in the main base. Workers are falling left and right. And the problem is that Rebellion can't really pull away army because if he does, he loses the third.
Yeah, so recognizing that not all the army is here, he does jump on it. Oh, huge disruptor shot.
The mate.
Yeah, so he knows that if there's army here, army there, and he's spent that money on the tech, then this army here is not going to be big enough to defend what he's built up so far, and he jumps on it immediately. Very decisive player.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's no detection! The big brain! 3-point recognizing that it was a lost battle. He does end up borrowing everything. The reinforcements are coming back as well. Meanwhile, 26 probes went down. Oh god! Another Nova goes off!
And suddenly this is getting pretty dicey for Rebellion. After losing that 26 probes and also almost losing the disruptor here, this game is quickly getting away from him.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he's finally been able to clean everything up. He was able to do so with these DTs. We still have a couple of borrowed roaches that, again, causing a little bit of havoc, a little bit of chaos here for the bases of Rebellion. And it's going to be almost impossible here to catch up with those probes. He has to make something decisive happen with his army. He's already gotten 2 really good disruptor shots off. So, again, there's a lot of potential with those disruptors.
Yeah, these burrowed roaches are just so annoying to deal with. Not only is it such an APM thing to go find them and take them out, but it's just something that's always in the back of your mind now.
Yeah.
That anytime a fight happens, this could be occurring again.
Exactly. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, 3-point, he's got 4 bases up and running. He's already got a hive. Oh my god, this madman is pumping out vipers as well. Again, relatively unorthodox, but Roach Ravager Viper is going to be insane because his only problem are the disruptors, and vipers hard counter disruptors.
And do you see what I see? Going for the Overlord speed, mate.
Let's go!
Let's go! It's good. Confirmed.
He's going to be able to scout. Meanwhile, at the same time, ooh, DTs do slip on in. I did forget about those DTs. At the same time, Rebellion, he's going to be able to push into this 4th base. One of the Novas does go off. The Vipers are not here yet.
Yeah, so sniping the detection at the 3rd while at the same time pushing it in the 4th. Same kind of idea that 3-point was showing before, but the Vipers are out now, and as soon as they've got energy, yeah, like you said, these disruptors are almost useless.
Oh my god, here we go. Would you see it over go up and it will connect? There we go! The second
oh
one
no!
Ah!
It's a disaster. One by one they pulled in after they do their shots, and we can see this army just melted, and what was looking like a close game suddenly huge swing in Rebellion's favor.
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, 3-point had the tools that he needed, but a little bit of miscontrol there. He wasn't able to yoink those disruptors in time, and just like that, the Blink Stalkers are going to be able to push on forward. We do have more roaches on the way, and another Viper question mark. We'll see how that goes, but again, Rebellion, he just has so much momentum.
Yeah, Zerg pulling drones into Archons is never what you want to see, and I think we'll be seeing GG in just a moment.
Yeah, there's just not much here at all. The Vipers are useless. They do not have enough energy to even throw down any blinding clouds. Another blink on forward. Another Nova comes out. The boys are being pulled. Not like this. Ah.
Oh. GG.
Rebellion. He takes the first game against his opponent, but it was not an easy game.
And that game was crazy. Who said CPP was boring? There were no Void Rays to be seen.
Oh my god, exactly. ZVP, who needs Void Rays? But oh my god, again, it's one of those things where 3-point just needed a little bit more time to consolidate his army. He just had to, again, have a little bit better decisive unit control there, targeting those disruptors. Bit of a feels bad, man.
Yeah, one of the weaknesses Zerg does have when it's teching up to one of those hive timings is if you hit just before all that money that you spent on that tech kicks in, you will have the army advantage like he had, but obviously the disruptors hitting is a huge deal as well.
Yeah. Ooh, and just like that, Rebellion, he was able to keep a cool head as well. Like, props to Rebellion to be able to have the mental fortitude to, despite losing over 20 workers, 26 workers in total, he was still able to recognize, okay, I know what I need to do. You know, I still have DTs. I still have these disruptors as well. Like, I have a decent army. I have a good immortal count. Like, I can still make something happen.
Yeah, it's a very impressive quality that some of these top players have where they can see the way to win a game, and it sounds kind of silly putting it that way, but even when everything's falling apart, he's identified the one window that he has to win that game, and he did.
Oh yeah, exactly. Very well played there in the end. Now we are moving on to our second game. We already have our map pick. It is going to be Hardwire. Nothing too special to say about this, I guess. And even if there was, it's one of those things where, I mean, these players, they're not going to play meta anyway. Like, what you know about PvZ doesn't apply here. And that's why I have AsherBro, because you know you don't need.
Because I know nothing.
Don't need any prior knowledge. It's fine. It's fine. You're casting 3-point, mate. Let's go.
Let's go.
My question is, 12 pool again?
I don't think so. This is a really long map. I would be surprised if we saw 12 pool.
And that's why it's gonna be like they're not gonna expect it, right?
It's the mind game. Never let them know your next move. Right?
Exactly, mate. Exactly. As we are diving into game number 2 of this best of 3 series and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, representing Genesis Gaming, and actually making drones, not going for a 12 pool. It is 3-point.
And spawning in the bottom left, playing for Team Super, pulling out a lovely victory with those big balls. It was Rebellion.
And he's gonna need big balls because we have a sneaky drone coming across the map here for 3-point. Drone scouting is very uncommon, and 3-point in a couple of seconds is gonna have enough to throw down a hatchery.
Mate, I don't think it's a scout. He's taking his base. Is that allowed?
Oh god. Hey, look, Protosses block our naturals all the time, okay? Like, oh god, he's doing it for all of Zergkind right now. Boys are forced to be pulled. A lot of lost mining time here, and yeah, some decent damage being done already. Oh my god, what?
Oh, a second hatchery? Let's go.
Third hatchery? I mean, when does it end?
So you said he was just making drones, but maybe drones is all you need.
True. He's gonna start making links in the base of his opponent. If he gets a spawning pool, there we go.
So what kind of strategy do you think we're going to be seeing coming out here? Is this like a pincer sort of thing, having links coming from inside and outside the house?
I would usually expect that if it was one hatchery, but because we have 2 hatcheries, that's a lot of larvae, you know? Like, it's kind of ingenious, but oh, never mind. He will not allow them to finish. He goes for the Evo block instead. Makes me question why he went for 2 hatcheries in the end. I don't know, buddy.
Yeah, what does the second hatch do?
What does it
Second
mean?
Evo block?
What's it blocking, though? What's it blocking?
I have no idea.
I mean, okay, so he did force the second pylon here, and he actually lets it finish, question mark, so he will have 1 hatchery behind the wall. Queen is on the way to spread creep.
Yeah, so I guess the creep is in a bit more of an inconvenient location, but oh, we're seeing the counter proxy. Oh my goodness.
I was shocked because I saw the production tab, but I was like, wait, but both pylons are here. Nah, mate, there's a 3rd pylon across the map. Rebellion, he doesn't even care about this base. He does make those adepts, and he's just zooming across the map. He is going all in, mate.
Yeah, so one of the best ways to deal with some of these cheesy strategies is just to cheese them straight back, because often all their units are going to be concentrated on your side of the map.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is going to get crazy.
The Lings are here as well. Zella is going to go down. There are no shield batteries, so, you know, decent damage is going to be dealt here. We do have a little bit more larva to work with, but as you said, 1 Void Ray is going to be enough to kill. Like, there's nothing here. There's a single queen.
Yeah, these adepts as well are going to wreak absolute havoc. It takes so long for 1 queen to clean up these adepts.
Yeah.
And all the mining is stopped.
Yeah, 0 income here for 3-point as he's being zoned out. He's going to go down to low ground, and boom, now he does spot that there is a proxy and a Void Ray is on the way.
He shouldn't have taken his natural, man. He should have taken the other guy's natural. There's no starport there.
Yeah, imagine if he had finished the hatchery here. He would have a hatchery up and running across the map, but that's it.
GG's called. Just checkmated with that Void Ray.
Wow.
That was crazy. So decisive from Rebellion as well. As soon as that was happening, just immediately went to the other side.
Yeah, how does that make sense? Like we see double proxy hatch in his natural, and he's like, I know what to do. It's like, what?
Is this normal? Is this CVP light? Is this what you guys are doing? You guys are crazy.
I don't do this, and this is why my win rate is so low. It's
True. You're building your hatcheries on the wrong side of the map, man.
And this is why threepoint is one of my favorite Korean Zerg players, and the favorite of many people, because he just has his own way of thinking. But again, you know, these other Korean players in this group, they know who he is. You know, he isn't a dark horse for them. They know exactly how he plays, and I wouldn't be surprised if legitimately that may not be the first time that that's happened to Rebellion. Like,
yeah, that might have been prepared. He might have just had in his mind that if he gets hatch blocked, that's what he's going to do, because it was so quick to do it.
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh boy.
And that does mean that we are going to be moving on to our North American server, because we have our winners match. Boy, so if you're a Vindicta fan in the chat, we're going to be getting some more of Miguelito here. Get ready to push your P because... Or his P? I don't know how it works.
Oh no, you're a boomer, mate.
I don't know whose P we're pushing, but it's being pushed here as we have a TVP.
TVP.
A TVP. Oh, God.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty cool to see different matchup from both players. Maybe a little bit less crazy. I don't think we're going to be seeing anyone putting their bases in anyone else's bases. But we might see a cheeky eBay block. Who knows?
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. Ooh, as we are just setting up, I'm just trying to find my way over to the North American server. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Just having some issues connecting. But I'm sure Vindicta is pretty happy that he doesn't have to deal with threepoint. I don't know if you're aware of his thoughts coming into this group, if he had any thoughts on the players or anything like that.
Yeah, I think he's fairly confident, but of course with a player like threepoint, you're always in the back of your mind, you're worried that you're going to see something that you've never seen before.
Yeah,
they are very creative players, and often the first time you see a strategy, you will lose to it.
Yeah, a lot of the time it does take a while to like process what's happening and actually like get a proper response to it. So it can be very difficult, and that's kind of what threepoint preys upon a lot of the time, especially in these online tournaments. But alas, that will not be the case here for Vindicta. He has to work on his other matchup instead. And what can you tell us about? Maybe not too in depth. What can you tell us about Vindicta's TVP?
Yeah, so kind of going to be seeing the same things that you see in the other matchup, just with a little bit more aggression. So often in TVP, the Terran, it's kind of on them to put the pressure on. They have the timings, the 1-1, the stim. So you will be seeing the same kind of map vision and stuff, like emphasis on map vision and pulling back and defending and attacking as you did in the last game, in the TVT, sorry. But probably a little bit more aggression, I would expect.
Yeah, like the TVT was like relatively standard. Like when it comes to TVP, is he one ever to go for any kind of like proxy play or anything like that? Does he see any value in that, or is he a lot more of like, even if it's aggression, it's more like off of like 2-base play or something like that?
Oh no, we might see some of the proxies. Our Lord and Savior Maru has spoken, and he has said that the proxy 1 Rax Reaper is good, and so we must all obey our Lord and Savior Maru.
Oh boy. We'll see. We'll see if we see that at some point in this series. Again, as a reminder, it will be a best of 3, not a best of 5, and the winner of this series will advance on to the playoffs, and they don't have to worry about playing any more games.
So we're going to see who's going to have a nice short night, maybe go back to bed if they've just woken up.
Oh god. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the loser has to continue on. Again, as a reminder, this is a GSL group. It's a little bit weird saying that because GSL groups don't exist anymore. Feels bad, man. But it does mean that, you know, the losers face each other, the winners face each other, then there's like a decider match to end the night and figure out who does make it out.
Yeah, I don't think I can work out whatever GSL group actually means now in terms of the GSL.
Yeah.
Round of 12, 10, 8, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Oh god, the round of 20 round robin into the round of 8 round robin into the round of 12. It goes back up and then back down. Like I don't.
Look, I just watched the games. I'm just here to see Bunny. I'm just here to see Maru. None of this counting stuff. It's not important.
Oh boy. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Meanwhile, especially because we have a little bit of time here, because I'm still struggling to connect to the North American server. I'm shaking my feels, shaking my head.
Blizzard, please.
Blizzard, please. You know, a bit of a shout out to the people that do run this. You know, Team GP, which is a Korean team, does run this tournament. And if you can see here, just underneath me, is the Team Super logo, because they are sponsoring this event. They do kind of run a lot of tournaments. I don't know if you've seen, but they have been kind of popping up a lot with like a couple of small events here, like invitational events here and there. So I just have to keep restarting my client. God. I don't know if you have this issue, but only for the North American server. Like I just get stuck like connecting to Blizzard services, and I just
I've never had that problem, but I believe you. This is. I think Kuro was talking about that yesterday as well. Yeah. I think. I don't know. It's like a thumbprint. Everyone's got their own unique Blizzard bugs.
Yeah.
On this super old game. There's only one intern. He can only help so many of us.
True. I think Kuro gets it whenever she goes to Europe. I think. And I think Chase gets it whenever he goes to Asia. No, sorry. Yaku gets it whenever he goes to Asia. So like, we all have our own vices. Apparently, when it comes to StarCraft.
We're in.
I made it. Let's go.
We're in.
Oh, beautiful, mate. Beautiful. So yeah, I do apologize for the delay here for the start, but really, I'm just building anticipation for our winners match here. Again, we got the best of the best in Group A, and of course, that does mean that Vindicta is here.
Let's go. The best of the best and his opponent.
Oh god. Are we going too far? No one's here to stop us.
This is a CranKy cast.
Oh god. Alright, here we go. We are loading on in, and we have our winners match.
And spawning up in the top right, he's pushing P, you're pushing P, we're all pushing P. It's Vindicta. That beautiful CranKy Ducklings logo.
Oh, beautiful, mate, beautiful. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Team Super. He just took down 3-point. Can he hold a candle to his opponent? It is Rebellion.
So we're not seeing any of those proxy shenanigans just yet. Probably just looking to, you know, play a bit more of a standard game, get a feel for his opponent before we see anything like that. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Rax is at home. At the same time, Rebellion, he is, you know, checking a little bit here for a proxy. Did go over to the left at the triangular throw just in case before going across the map.
Yeah, he scouted my spot. I would have been seen.
Oh, God.
There's this spot in the bushes here, in between those two bushes.
Yeah.
If you send the scout past, it doesn't see that, but he checked. He knows.
He knows. He's not going to get probed. Not again. So far, again, pretty standard openers. I can see Vindicta is one of the connoisseurs of the Marine first tier in TVP. That's become quite popular in recent times.
Yeah, so this is pretty standard these days. Like, I think a lot of people have just decided that you don't really need the Reaper for scouting, and you might as well just get this reactor going faster, and we might see him put on a bit of pressure soon with his 5 Marines, as you get a bit of a nice timing there.
Yeah. He has adopted that, of course, from his Lord and Savior Maru in a different way. And oh my god, we even see Rebellion being overly safe here. I'm shocked by how early the shield battery is in the main.
Yeah, so I think you'd normally see this against a Reaper as well. So this is definitely playing it super safe.
Yeah.
Maybe Vindicta's got a reputation.
Maybe. Very odd, because like I rarely see this, period, to be honest, even if there was a Reaper opener. But I guess, you know, because he's moving out across the map with his first unit, he doesn't want to be left too vulnerable at home. But what's interesting is that behind this Reaper does have 2 more Raxes on the way.
Yeah, so sometimes when you are chronoing this Adept, you may not come in. The wall is a wall.
The wall
Yeah,
is
so
a
sometimes when you do chrono this Adept straight across the map, you can catch some of these more tricky openings like the Reactor Factory before the Hellions come out. So just I think he was trying to find a bit of a sharp timing there against certain openings, but it's not quite there this time. So that's okay.
Yeah. And so far, a nice job here by Vindicta, able to keep his opponent out of his base. Again, making sure the wall is a wall is kind of, you know, we slip that into the contract for the CranKy Ducklings. If you do not do that, then you do not get paid.
Yeah, off the team. The wall must be a wall at all times.
At all times, mate, at all times.
If you're a Zerg, you're off the team.
You're off the team, mate. You're off the team. You got to off races Terran every now and then. But so far this has remained hidden, and again this is going to be pretty dedicated, especially with a +1 timing kind of being mixed in here as well. Yeah,
I don't actually see this too often. I know that Beyond used to do this back in the day, getting the +1 before the combat shields, and yeah, it does mean you delay a factory a little bit. You hit a very strong timing here.
Yeah, and we'll see what Rebellion will have to defend. He is opening up with the Twilight Council, is going to go Blink, so again, relatively standard. Once again, even already has a preemptive shield battery here at the natural, so I don't know what has happened to Rebellion, but he has been hurt bad by Terran.
He's been hurt before. This is a common Protoss complaint. I don't think it's true, but they say that they've been hurt by Terrans.
Yeah, PvT unwinnable, mate. So Rebellion, again, he's playing this out very scared. I mean, I guess it will mean that he will have some defenses for this, but it is very inefficient. It is hurting him kind of in the long run, as he's looking to try and go straight into a Robotics Bay.
Yeah, we might even see a bit of aggression coming out from him straight back. It is quite unusual to not have your third yet, even against this kind of aggressive opening.
100%, mate, 100%. So he's going to be delaying. Meanwhile, he does take control of the Watchtower. He will scout this entire bio ball, so now he's fully aware. Okay, it was a 3-wax. I need to start preparing at home. He even throws down a secondary shield battery to make sure that secondary pylon to make sure that the shield battery doesn't get depowered.
Yeah, we can see Vindicta setting up to push towards the third and seeing no third at all. The damage is almost already done, and he's just gonna poke around here, be very conservative with his stim, and try to get a feel for what's happening, and in he goes.
Oh, exactly. Does force the overcharge to be popped. Recognizing and respecting the overcharge, he will back off. Oh, but now, without the overcharge, without the shield battery, he's able to pick off a couple of units.
Psych. Yeah, so very decisive decision making there. With the 3-wax, one of the most important things is how you use your first stim, so immediately upon seeing that he wasn't going to get the damage he was looking for, while he still has the movement speed boost from the stim, he gets out of there. Very good decision.
There we go. He will be able to come all the way back home. He is, again, looking to get that factory. Oh, never mind. Still actually no factory here. Sorry, I'm blind. No starport, I should say, as it should be on the way momentarily for those medrax. Meanwhile, something interesting from Rebellion is that he actually went for, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, a Disruptor first and then a Colossus.
Yeah, very interesting. Looking to get pretty aggressive here. Might even jump up into the main if he can, but Vindicta already on top of this, trying to shoo away these Stalkers.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. At the same time, it looks like Vindicta does get confirmation. No, he barely doesn't see that third base as it is thrown down, and Rebellion still doesn't find a way into the main.
Yeah, so I think he's actually trying to bait this fireball down to the low ground and catch him surprised with this Disruptor.
Oh!
He's too fast, mate. You can't catch him.
He's too quick, mate. He's too quick. The bunker goes down, but only the bunker. Vindicta, he's fine. He's got a third CC on the way to eventually take. He's still a little bit in the dark, but quickly looking at his vision, he was able to confirm that there is a third.
Yeah, so probably a little bit confused as to what's going on here. It's a bit of very unorthodox opening.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's quite happy with his position. And like in the other game, with both of them going for these very aggressive openers, kind of cancels out, and we're going to be seeing them both comfortably go to a third base now.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit concerned, just because Rebellion, despite going into Colossus and working on his second Colossus, he never started Extended Thermal Lance. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Maybe because of his worse economy, like he's delaying it on purpose, and he'll eventually work up towards it once he gets a comfortable count of Colossus. I just hope he doesn't forget about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think if we only saw one Colossus, maybe it would be intentional. But with two Colossus here, I really think he's going to want to get that as soon as he can. But he might not notice until the first attack of the Colossus.
Yeah, I do worry. As he continues to take up, we do have a Temple Archives on the way as well. Meanwhile, he was trying to get some cheeky damage done with this Disruptor, but he wasn't really able to land on anything. You can see Disruptor has 0 kills so far, so hasn't been able to get any value yet. But you can argue that at least the zoning that it provides does kind of, provide something at least.
Yeah, it just stops Vindicta from moving too freely through the map, and you can see how he sends his one Marine forward like this just to scout. It's definitely something you want to keep an eye on.
Exactly. I'm just so nervous because again, even though there's one Disruptor, it's still one Disruptor,
I've seen what one Disruptor can do.
Exactly. Oh god, as he tries to poke up this ramp, we'll take a couple of these Zealots down. His charge is done. Here comes the first Nova. Once again, doesn't connect with anything.
Yeah, very decisively straight up into the main, but there are Stalkers waiting.
Oh. How did that not die?
I have no idea. I guess it's 8 Stalkers in the main. So it's 9 Stalkers to kill a Medevac. Fun little trivia fact for you there.
Yeah, there we go. So Vindicta barely manages to escape with his army, just scans confirming the positioning of where Rebellion is. This 4th base is honestly a little bit exposed. Vindicta actually is unaware of it at the moment as he goes for a little bit of harass with these libs.
Yeah, so these Liberators here probably just trying to pull these Stalkers out of position so he can stop looking for other damage, but looks like he's content just to move around the map now.
Yeah, he backs off. Again, just make sure that he has his third up and running. 4th CC is on the way. Meanwhile, Libs will be able to siege up, and pretty late response here. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's actually getting huge damage. This is 7 probes just like that. Very inconvenient.
Yeah, some nice damage, especially because the Liberator's still alive. At least one of them is still alive, so Vindicta, he can always re-siege it whenever he sees fit. Meanwhile, Rebellion still did not get Thermal Lance, by the way. He may just never get it.
New meta.
Exactly. Who needs it, mate? Who needs it? I mean, he's working on Disruptors anyway. Meanwhile, does scan the army, and now he sees an opportunity to pounce on the 4th.
Yeah, Gravitar's walking in Stalkers as well. Definitely better to catch the Stalkers walking in than catch the pylon and cancel them. And this position is looking pretty good for Vindicta. He's got quite a big army here already.
Yeah, definitely at the same time. Oh, we do see an EMP connect with the War Prism. War Prism does go down. There's going to be no harassment here in the main base. At the same time, Vindicta did try and sneak into that 3rd, but Disruptor was here. There was a Warp in.
Yeah, beautiful defense there. We're seeing some of the same monikers from his TVT play of the defense at home while poking around with the aggression and the map vision all over the place. It's definitely useful in TVP as well. Oh, yeah. Especially these spotter mines here. These are really great just for seeing the rotations of the army there. And you can see just having that mine causes Rebellion to move out.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Double Drop did sneak in between the bases. One of them got sniped, so now there's only a single drop remaining. A bit of a feels bad man here, as Rebellion is actually looking to move out. He feels confident. He's like, yo, I have everything that I need. Who the hell needs Thermal Lance? And he's pushing out here. Has to still be careful. Only has 2 of these Disruptors.
Yeah, and he wedges himself straight into the gap of great EMPs there, and that pretty much puts a halt. Shoots his own CC. As you do.
He had to make sure that Rebellion was able to see it as well. Again, just
assert dominance.
Just another power move, as you do, mate. Push and P.
Be like, mate, you're attacking my CC. Nah, I'm attacking my CC, mate. Get out of here.
It dies on my terms.
Once again, this mine catches the rotation, and he's just all over this army movement. Not going to be caught off guard here.
Yeah, exactly. As we do see him rotate to meet said army. Meanwhile, Vikings, oh my god, they catch a War Prism!
Oh, that's a huge pick off. So this army is not going to be able to be reinforced here. Disrupt the zones.
Yeah, it does zone. Another Colossus got picked off, so only one Colossus remaining. That's the final oh, sorry, never mind. There's still 2 more Purification Overs left.
Oh, there's always more. There's always more, man.
There's always another
They
one.
never end. Ah.
Meanwhile, that single drop did barely manage to escape. Looks like the medevac may be able to get across. Oh, no, never mind. It may just die. Zealot run back here on the right-hand side. At the same time, main army is pushing in.
Yeah, well-timed here. So while he's just having to dance back and forth with his disruptors, Chaos ensuing in the third, and he cancels those starports.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, finally, a half-decent Purification Over does go off. Planetary is going to be repaired. It is going to be able to dish out a little bit of damage here, keeping things strong. Meanwhile, Zealots actually get cleaned up.
Yeah, we are seeing Rebellion start to commit to this fight, but he's having these units shaved off by the PF and by the army, and Vindicta confident enough to split off some of his army south.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You could argue that now he's at his most vulnerable because he's only fighting with half of his army. Rebellion is going to be pushing in, but it's a little bit too late. The rest of Vindicta's army is on the way.
And there's a huge EMPs blanketing the entire army, and with these Liberators starting to come out, yeah, I think we're going to see this pushed away.
Yeah, exactly. Half the army of Rebellion goes down in the blink of an eye. At the same time, another Zealot run by. This time it gets through. This time it will deal damage. Eventually be cleaned up. Oh no, Vindicta, no!
Oh, shoot, please!
He will be able to clean it up in the end, but not before losing 10 SCVs.
Yeah, so we are starting to see him transition into the Lib range, and this is the typical response for disruptors. You can really zone them away with these.
Yeah, definitely. We were able to see that in Group B of Who is Amateur King as well. It's one of those things where Rebellion, he's got to take note of this, and he's got to start transitioning himself. Meanwhile, he actually blinks for it, does take down one Libs.
Yeah, very aggressive blink, trying to get rid of some of these Libs. They do tend to be a lot more oppressive once they get into the higher numbers, so if he can keep on top of this, it will help him.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Vindicta almost setting himself up for a bit of a surround here. He does get caught out, so unable to really complete that concave as he is pushed away. But at the same time, like, this is still a pretty respectable army. Like, Rebellion has to be careful. I don't know if he wants to commit here.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge surround if he commits to this fight. He's kind of wedging himself into the 360 surround.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The Novas are dodged. More EMPs blanketing everything here. And in comes that army from behind.
Didn't even need it, mate. Yeah, and that was a very good fight for Vindicta there. Really seeing the power of the EMP there with half the health of these Protoss units gone. They just get shredded by the bio.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, all the high-tech units get reset. We do have 2 more disruptors here for Rebellion, but looking at the units tab, 4 disruptors, 8 stalkers, 7 zealots. That's literally all the army units he has left. Now is the opportunity for Vindicta to really just take advantage of his situation as both Novas get baited out. Oh god.
Yeah, so this is slightly uncomfortable situation for Vindicta having no medevacs to heal up all his army, but at the same time, with his army growing against the dwindling size of Rebellion's army, this is looking like a really good position for him.
Yeah, it really is. Thankfully for Rebellion, Vindicta is pushing on the right-hand side, so because of this, Rebellion is sneaking out another base, and economically, he is keeping up with his opponent. Like, let's bear that in mind. The problem is that, again, he's relying the bulk of his army being relied on disruptors means that it can be difficult for it to really pay for itself, and if you suddenly run out of Novas, then, like, there's nothing stopping the army from just stimming on top of you.
Yeah, so we are seeing him reach a critical mass with these disruptors where he can pretty much non-stop have them going out. But at the same time, Vindicta with a very decisive move here, straight through the middle.
Yeah. He even has Liberators to back himself up here as well. Oh my god, Rebellion is going to have to force himself through that Liberation Zone. At the same time, both Robos go down, so no more Disruptors.
Yeah, just catching the army out of position here, and I think we'll just see him push into the main, get what damage he can, and lift and leave.
Yeah, exactly. What a great concave here on top of the ramp. He takes down 18 probes. At the same time, he is able to dodge the majority of these Novas. There's one left. Up!
Yeah, they're just trading army, shaving off units, and this is just going to favor Vindicta with the lead that he's already got with his army, and he's completely outpositioned in here.
Yeah, exactly. We do see a recall, so mate, Protoss is never out of position. What are you on about? We always got a recall.
No such thing, man.
Oh god. So he will be able to clean this up. Doesn't trade too well though, because he did recall into liberation zones. But as you said, Vindicta, his macro just doesn't stop.
Yeah, we are seeing just how good the Liberators are in this matchup. With the +2 attack, they're two-shotting those Stalkers, and only 2 of them there, but they did so much damage.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it's one of those things where once you recognize that, hey, we have a bunch of Liberators, taking it to Skytoss is typically the way to answer that. But Rebellion, he's kind of stuck in his ways. He's on the ground, not in the sky. And again, he's struggling because of that. Oh!
Yeah, so we are seeing the confidence for Vindicta to just jump straight on this army, but he's being punished a little bit with the disruptor shots. There's so many disruptors, but pretty much nothing to support them left over.
Yeah, exactly. Despite the Novas going off on the army, the Liberators were still able to reign supreme. They just completely reset that Stalker count. Meanwhile, another little bit of a drop here on the left-hand side of the map does take out 12 more probes. And Rebellion, he's falling apart.
Only 2 Marauders in the Ghost there, but with the army split so thin, it's going to do enough damage, and it's looking like the beginning of the end for Rebellion.
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, he still has a lot of Novas, but there is no answer to those Liberators.
Oh, and the splits are good. GG is cold.
GG, well played. Vindicta does take game number 1 in this series again, in honestly a pretty good fashion. It was a bit of an awkward game, especially the early game. Like, it was very awkward is the best word that I can use there. But in the end, Vindicta, he was able to come out on top and just maintain that lead. Yeah,
it's always very stressful dealing with such a high disruptor count. You've really got to be methodical, make sure that you always know where the army is. But we saw that Vindicta did a great job of that and actually managed to punish the out of position disruptors at one point. So it's a great play.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oof. GG. And now we are going to be hopping over to another server. We're hopping over to Asia, and now Rebellion, mate, he's going to have a little bit of a ping advantage here.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might see a bit more of an aggressive strategy to make the most of that. Maybe I've seen Proxy Void Ray making a bit of a resurgence without the shield battery, just sending in the Void Rays as a bit of a pressure.
Oh.
So I wonder if we'll be seeing that.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that, because as you were kind of alluding to, we did see a lot of nerfs to Proxy Void Ray, with the Void Ray itself, with the shield battery nerf as well. But, you know, mate, that's not stopping Protosses, apparently.
Yeah, you know what these Protoss players are like? No shame, mate. No shame.
Oh, God. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Vindicta splits, if his avoidance of those Purification Novas are going to be as good here on the Korean server. I think what's important, and this is something that not a lot of Europeans do, to be honest, like calling them out a little bit, is that Vindicta, because he does ladder pretty frequently here, he's kind of used to the ping. Like, it's not gonna be like a jarring thing that he has to deal with.
Yeah, and there are ways that you can make up for the disadvantage in ping, so you can just be a little bit less risky going for those snipes, going for those splits, play a more methodical style, kind of like he did with the Liberators. Just setting up behind your Liberators so that if there is a fight, it will be a very advantageous fight under those liberation zones.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if we end up seeing a little bit more of the same, if we see Vindicta adapt to that, if we see Rebellion adapt to that style as well, especially after taking a bit of a loss in that first game, at a bit of a detriment in this series. We'll see if he's going to be able to make up for that in Game 2 as we load in.
Yeah, I think most of the players got a bit of a feel for each other in that last game, and maybe all bets are off on this one. We might be seeing some shenanigans.
Oh yeah. Mate, that's what I'm here for. Let's go. Look, 1 proxy racks, okay? That's all I'm asking for.
Please, for Maru, puppy, for Maru.
Oh god, and here we go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have our South Korean Protoss player representing Team Super. It is Rebellion.
And spawning in the bottom left, the blue Terran playing for the CranKy Ducklings, looking to find his way to a clean sweep through this series. It is Vindicta.
Madman hasn't even dropped a game tonight.
It's never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Oh god, as once again, unfortunately, the Rax is at home. Feels bad, man.
Aye. We are seeing Rebellion did check in his natural as well. I have been seeing Vindicta sometimes do a 2 Rax proxy just behind those gases in the natural, so maybe what he was looking for there.
Yeah, Rebellion confirming that nothing crazy is going on, doesn't have to deal with those proxies, and with this probe scout we'll confirm that the Rax is at home and everything is looking pretty normal, pretty standard.
The Rax is a Rax.
Yes. I guess my next question, do you think that this game, if Rebellion gets Colossus, will he get extended thermal lance?
Yeah, I wonder if he noticed, because I don't think he ever got it, did he?
Nope, he never got it.
And then when he lost his Colossus as well, he didn't replace him. He just went all into disruptors. I wonder if that played a bit of a factor.
Yeah, I do wonder. We'll see if we can find like a pattern here. Does he just not enjoy that? Does he not invest into extended thermal lance because he knows how disruptor heavy he's going to be in the mid game? So that kind of like alludes to that, and he wants to be a little bit more efficient with where he spends his money. It's possible.
Yeah, so we're just seeing Vindicta just teasing the SOV around, looking for a spot to get the bunker up, maybe. Does get the probe, but shows the Reaper as well, but there's a second Reaper coming. Bit of a mind game, this one, not something you usually see.
Yeah, there was like a bit of a give and take here, because even though the Reaper was able to kill the probe did sneak into the main base and did confirm the factory as well. So at least Rebellion was able to get a little bit of scouting, and he's aware that, okay, it's not going to be a 3-Rax again, so he can kind of rule out that possibility. And he's going for a Robo first! Oh my god!
Yeah, and we have also seen, different from the last game, no battery and the Adept stays home, so he is ready for this Reaper.
Oh yeah, meanwhile, Shield Battery here at the natural base, just in case he's looking to full wall off. And the reason why I was shocked by this, we'll see if he goes full NA or if he's a little bit more understandable.
Yeah,
right.
Do you think we're going to be seeing a Disruptor drop, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Call it now. Disruptor drop or Colossus drop?
Disruptor.
Okay. A little bit more reasonable. If this was Nina, mate, Colossus drop every time.
This is what we call ping abuse.
Oh god. Meanwhile, we do see Vindicta just poking and prodding here at the front door, not really finding a way in his Reaper zone. They get in!
Yeah, just uses the grenade to zone out the Adept and see what damage he can get, and he gets a full scout. It's really important to do with this open air.
Yeah, exactly.
So this, yeah, go on.
I was about to say, he does not see the robotic spade, but he does confirm the very fast robo, and typically that can only mean one thing.
Yeah, it's a good little bit of damage, but the main reason in this 2 Reaper 1 Hellion is just to completely guarantee a scout. And sending that SUV out, looking around, it looks like he knows what's coming.
Yeah, mate,
he definitely knows what's coming.
Viking is on the way to shut down that War Prism. So again, it's going to be really difficult for the Prism to really deal any damage whatsoever. There's always a possibility with those Disruptors, but we'll see if it is in fact going to be, Disruptor drop.
Let's go. Yeah, so this Viking is just going to zone out the Prism from sneaking into the main, and the SUV is going to see any cheeky Prism coming from the front, just trying to catch some army left out the front.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. What's important, though, is that Rebellion does see the Viking with his Observer, so he's aware of the threat to his Prism, so he's going to be a little bit more on notice now, and he's going to be a little bit more careful, I imagine, with where the angle that he goes in. But again, he's got to be careful because he is still committed to it.
Yeah, we are seeing a Raven coming out from Vindicta as well, and this can be really useful against this against this build. You get this kind of game of dare that goes on where the Protoss player wants to drop the Disruptor out of the Prism to bait the Matrix from the Raven, and then pick it back up in time before the Matrix hits.
Oh boy, we'll see who does land first. Meanwhile, we already have a tank here on the low ground. The Disruptor will be able to land though, and just barely out of tank range. Oh,
Oh, very quick pull. No damage at all. Really well done there.
Oh no!
And he gets the Observer too.
Yeah, even the Observer gets taken out. So now Rebellion's gonna be in the dark when it comes to where that Viking is. Speaking of, the War Prism, it's gonna get intercepted. Oh!
Yeah, this is a great prediction here. And this has been totally shut down so far.
0 damage, mate. 0 damage is done, and because of that Rebellion, he backs off. He's going to be able to take his third base behind this. I mean, at least he keeps the War Prism alive for the time being, so again, he can still get some damage done, but he's just having such a hard time finding it.
Yeah, there's just no openings left here, and the thing is, with the stim, the +1, the combat shield's all on the way from Vindicta. All he really has to do here is defend, and with all the money that's been spent in that tech, this push is going to hit even harder.
It really is, and Rebellion, in the end, again, he just backs off. Oh my god, he does have a second, you know what, if one doesn't work, just get a second, you know, let's go. Maybe,
yes, I guess
yeah.
What he can do here is take out any tanks that are not positioned properly, but yeah, with the Marine backup, it's pretty difficult here. Oh, he does catch the tank. That's a great pick off though.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Finally, we have some value. Finally, one tank goes down, and that will weaken that push that you were talking about. Like the tank count is so crucial here for these pushes because, again, you typically don't have a lot of them. Like every single one counts.
Yeah, we are seeing actually quite a high tank count coming out from Vindicta, probably going up to 4 or 5 before he even pushes out. So typically you would see maybe 3. That's usually the amount that it takes to DPS through a shield battery healing units, but we are seeing him go to a very high tank count, so it's going to be quite a committed push.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage it can get done, as we do have a bit of a double drop heading out across the map. Do see a scan to just make sure, okay, there is no army waiting outside or anything along those lines. And on the other side of the map, Rebellion, what does he have going for him? He actually only made those 2 disruptors, and that's it. He stopped disruptor production there, and he's actually going to Storm instead.
Yeah, going into more of a gateway style with the Storm and the Charge, and the Charge is very important against his tank pushes as well. So he's got pretty good setup for dealing with what's coming his way.
Yeah. For the most part, he does. A Storm may finish just in time for the attack. It's going to be pretty close. And it's going to depend on whether or not he even has pre-warped in High Templar, gathering that energy as well.
Yeah, I think seeing what he saw with that scan, Vindicta's got the go-ahead to make this push.
Yeah, exactly. The army does get spotted. There we go. A couple of High Templar are morphed in. Again, Storm isn't done quite yet, and Vindicta, he's going to stim in a small force here. We even have an anti-armor missile!
Yeah, anti-armor missile hits the entire army. Looks like that High Templar just sharking to try feed back the Raven, but there's no energy on it.
Yeah, so no feedbacks available whatsoever. The second Nova goes off, and that is it. 2 Novas is all he had to work with, and the overcharge is running out.
Yeah, we've seen the aggressive army move from Vindicta, fading out possibly an early overcharge, but these charge lots just clean up the tank straight away, and that's why I did note that getting charge early was such a good thing for him. These Zealots are so good against tank pushes like that.
Yeah, that they are. Who needs disruptors? Who needs Storm? You just need charge. That's all you need. Zealots are pretty good.
Yeah, we're actually seeing him load up for a Storm drop now. Pulling out all the tricks.
Oh my god. That's terrifying. Here we go. So the War Prism, again, from the early game, it is still alive. Potential for damage is there. Storm is moving out across the map. Not just the drop, but the rest of the army as well.
Yeah, I think seeing that he took out so many tanks, the factory units are important power units in TVP, so I'm sure he knows that he's got a bit of a window for a push here, and this is a scary moment.
Oh yeah, it is terrifying. Meanwhile, Vindicta actually going for a bit of a drop. I'm going to be sneaking around the edges of the map. He also doesn't really have vision of this army. There we go. Finally, he does confirm with the medevac.
Yeah, I don't see any ghosts in this army for Vindicta. It's really important that he has some ghosts to AMP these High Templar, or these Storms are going to be terrifying in this tight environments.
Oh god, exactly. Meanwhile, we do have, what, 3 High Templar here waiting for those Storms.
Yeah, just drops another scan to keep track of this prison, but the Storms are huge, and the depot is actually blocking his own army there.
Yeah, the choke point was real. The Storm was real as well. Meanwhile, we do have a couple of Liberators loading up, and is it going to be enough? The SCVs are going to try and body block for the bio.
Yeah, lovely hold position here, just messing up the the AI on the Zealots, but with all those SCVs going down, he's in a really difficult spot now.
Yeah, exactly. To add to that, we do have the tanks here at the third base. They weren't a part of the fight at all. Looks like one of them is going to get taken down. The Bio is going to try and push on forward. Widowmines will get some decent connections here on the Zealots, but is that even going to be enough?
Yeah, the EMPs are good, but that's too much for him to handle. And Rebellion takes the second game, 1-1.
Ooh, GG, well played. Rebellion completely switching up his style here, and despite not dealing any damage with his opener with the disruptor drop, like transitioning into charge was great for him. It was a really great read, recognizing what Vindicta was going to go for.
Yeah, I think he would have actually been in a lot of trouble against that mass tank style had he continued to go into Robo, but making the switch into the gateway style was the perfect read for him, and the series is tied up. So we've got a series.
The first series to go to the ace match. We're tied up 1-1, and this is going to be our final game. The winner of this series moves on to the playoffs. The loser will have to play another match in the decider.
So they're fighting to see who gets the nap.
Okay. Oh god. I'm terrified, especially because you know what? The ace match, it's gonna be on the Korean server.
Yeah, so did you see any moments that you think the ping really played a part in that game?
Not really, no.
Yeah. I think it should be okay.
Yeah. I mean,
we can see a lot of the things that Vindicta was doing was preempting the army movement, especially with that disruptor drop, moving the Vikings to preempt where it was going to go, or having the Marines already in place. Just taking out all those variables.
Yeah. It was a very smart play. It was very methodical there from Vindicta. But can he try and pull that off again here in game number 3? Especially because what's scary is that Rebellion has kind of done two different things in game 1 and game 2. So he doesn't seem to be a very predictable player. Yeah,
he has shown that he can start by showing one thing and then switch gears, which is a very strong asset to have as a Protoss player. Using all the different techs to your advantage, you can gain. Yeah, it's one of the strengths of the races that you can kind of catch your opponent off guard with these tech switches and these huge power spikes.
Oh yeah. You really can, and we'll see if that's going to come into play here. As you can hear the beeps people in the chat, we are loading into game number 3, and it's going to be on the map with the shortest rush distance in the entire map pool. We are loading in to Berlingrad.
Let's go.
Oh boy, as spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have our South Korean Protoss player representing Team Super. It is Rebellion.
And in the bottom right, the blue Terran representing the CranKy Ducklings is going to need all your energy, so push your P. It's Vindicta.
That's right, people in the chat. He needs all of your P right now. Let's go.
Maximum P in the chat.
Maximum P. Oh god, that sounds dirty. Oh god, I can see the copy pastas are in the chat as well, and I feel like that does give Vindicta some energy. He's got a lot of copy pastas.
Yeah, so we are seeing the racks in the main once again. Mario is sad.
Very sad. Feels bad, man. You can see the disappointment in his face in the main base. Oh god. Meanwhile, Rebellion, he comes across the map, just confirming again that nothing crazy is going on. Even sends a second probe out on the map, actually. Oh.
Yeah, it looks like he might be looking for a proxy of his own, and there is a nice spot behind the rocks here where he can set that up, and that's exactly where he's going. So he might be seeing a proxy Stargate here out of him.
Yeah, exactly. That position is primed for a proxy Stargate. Meanwhile, Vindicta, he does get across the map, just again scouting, confirming everything with his SCV, but a little bit unawares of what is in the middle of the map.
Yeah, so he will see the double gas, he'll see the lack of a natural, and he'll know something's up, and I think you'll immediately see him looking for proxies here.
Oh yeah. Here we go. The SCV is checking the southern edges of the map. So far, hasn't checked behind the rocks, but I'm sure he'll go there eventually.
It always stresses me out so much when you see these players that have such high APM and they've got the time to constantly changing the paths of these SCVs. You never really know if they're actually going to go, but it looks like he's going to find it.
There we go, and you know what? It wasn't a proxy Stargate. We see a proxy Robo instead. So much more unorthodox kind of proxy here, but Vindicta does see it.
Yeah, so you should know roughly what he's up against here. So usually you're going to see something like an Immortal drop out of this. Often with, even sometimes with 2 Robos, but I think knowing that it's been scouted, you probably won't see him commit quite that hard to it.
Yeah, Rebellion shouldn't commit too hard, but we'll see. We'll see. As he is looking to expand and take his natural base. Meanwhile, Bunker here on the high ground. We even have a Widowmine coming out as well. I do appreciate that he is looking to cover both his main ramp and even his production.
You can see just considering exactly where he wants that second bunker here. Probably anticipating some drop pressure coming out.
Yep, and at the same time, that scouting SCV even gets across the map and confirms, okay, you know, you're not like one base all-inning me. You do have a natural back at home, so again, you're not going to be the most committed to this proxy.
Yeah, it's a very important scout, that one. And it looks like we're just going to see a light gateway pressure using this prism. So he's more than set up for this.
Yeah. He even salvaged or even canceled the bunker in the main base, recognizing, you know what, I probably don't even need this. We'll see, because a couple of gateway units do sneak into the main base.
It is actually pretty annoying. We're seeing the gateway units go pretty much straight through where he had his bunker. But only one SCV going down there, that's not too bad.
Oh my god, and at the same time we have a bunker across the map as well?
Yeah, should be just out of vision of the Nexus here, so...
He sees it.
I'm not sure what he's looking for here. Maybe sending a Reaper across?
Yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed as well. Because I imagine he needs these units here at home. I mean, he's putting a lot of faith into these Cyclones, not gonna lie. Hoping that nothing crazy happens as he is sneaking across the map with his drop, and this drop will have the support of that bunker.
Yeah, so... It looks like Rebellion has actually cottoned on to the fact that there's something coming across the map his way, and he just sends everything home. So
yeah, we'll see what this gets done. Especially because, like, man, we got an Immortal. Like the Immortals are the bunker busters. Oh my god, even a little bit of bunker there.
Yeah, so it looks like this was just to set up a bit of a launch pad for this attack, but not too much got done here.
Yeah, a couple of gateway units went down. I mean, I guess it also relieves pressure because everything turned around and went back home. So Vindicta doesn't have too much to worry about back at home. He can expand, he can take his natural, maybe clean up this proxy as the Immortals are getting in position to protect it.
Yeah, with these 2 Cyclones, he can get out on the map, and this Immortal is actually in quite a bit of trouble. He really needs to get this to a prism straight away.
Yeah, he's gonna get the hell out of here. We see even a scan in the main base confirming that there is a Twilight Council, so no weird, like, I don't know, weird Stargate transition or anything like that, as the rover is depowered.
Yeah, it looks like actually going for a charge all-in Rebellion here. So scans and sees there's 7 gates, it looks like, and charge just finishing up now, so this is gonna be a very aggressive attack.
Oh yeah, a lot of gates here available for Rebellion. The chargeless are being morphed in. What do we have at home to defend? We do have that bunker still on the high ground. A tank is on the way as well. Is this gonna be enough? Oh god, I'm so concerned. At least he is getting another bunker on the low ground.
Yeah, I am a little bit worried about him coming down to take this low ground because this is going to go south very quickly if he tries to hold the low ground, and I'm happy to see he's sieging up on the high ground now.
Yeah, there we go. I guess the bunker is just there to provide maybe a little bit of SimCity question mark, just to make it a little bit more awkward to push in. Meanwhile, we have another scan, again, probably trying to just confirm that gateway count.
Yeah, just double checking exactly what he's up against, and he should have a good idea now.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be losing a couple of SCVs at the same time. Immortals do drop into the main base, and the Zelts are getting on top of the tanks. Oh, on top of the
tank
army.
Actually sitting on top of the depot there is really unfortunate.
Oh, and
there we go.
Yeah,
And just like that.
GG. That unfortunately the wall was not a wall there on the ramp. The tanks, they got surrounded. He didn't have vision in that main base. He wasn't expecting the War Prism to sneak in from behind, and Rebellion, he takes the series.
You know what we call that?
What do we call that?
Protost, mate. He got Protost.
Oh god, Vindicta, he was able to take the first game, the most straightforward out of all the games, and then Rebellion, he just turned up that cheese, he just turned up the aggression, and mate, charge lots, mate.
Yeah, very aggressive follow-up, and definitely something that you often see on such a short map, but it did seem that Vindicta was a little bit split between a couple different responses, and just the one decisive move of Rebellion managed to catch him at the right time there.
Yeah. Some questionable decisions there with like the bunker across the map and the drop as well. Losing a couple of units needlessly, you know. Maybe there's a different world where if he's still at home defending, then Rebellion commits to the Warp Prism aggression, and maybe because of the Cyclones is able to shut that down or something else happens. But yeah, GG.
Yeah, it's one of these things with those tricky builds. Sometimes when you defend them so well, it can kind of get in your head whether the Protoss is actually committed to it or not. So you can get in those difficult positions like that where possibly that drop going across the map would have done very well against a more committed attack, but against what Rebellion was doing, actually just kind of made the situation a bit more complicated.
Yeah. Feels bad. My heart goes out to Vindicta. Thankfully, he is not out of the tournament. He is not out of his group. He just gets knocked down to the decider match, where unfortunately he will not be able to have a nap.
Rebellion is the winner of the nap. Probably asleep, actually.
Oh yeah, I mean it's pretty late. It's midnight in Korea right now. Or it's 1 a.m. in Korea. Jesus.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of an upset there, but still confident in our boy Miguelito.
Yeah. Man, you know what? He's just making things a little bit spicy for the fans, you know? He wants to make a show out of it, right? He wants
it's all
everyone.
For the fans.
Yeah, he wants
just wants more
to
screen time.
Yeah. The cope is real. Oh god. But I hope he's able to take this time to kind of reset a little bit. Like, he didn't GG at the end there, so you could tell that he was a little bit upset about what happened. He was a little bit frustrated. So hopefully he's able to reset, calm down, take a moment, take a break, get some water, and hopefully that doesn't affect him in his future match.
Definitely a frustrating way to lose, especially with the tank on the depot. It's such a small mistake, but such a game-ending one.
Yeah.
But fortunately, no more Protosses left, so that's the most Protoss that he can get. So should be able to mentally reset, and looking forward to seeing more games from him, even though I'm sure he would have preferred to get out earlier.
True. Oh boy. We'll see how this goes as we are getting ready for our next series here. You can see on the screen how the group has been progressing. We have 2 best of 3s remaining here in this group. We're going to be slipping into a bit of a TVZ into Jinioh versus threepoint.
Yeah, here we go. I got my wish. I get to see the threepoint TVZ, and this should be a really exciting game. I'm sure these players are very evenly matched, actually. I think they're roughly the same MMR.
Yeah. I'm ready for the double hatch at the Nat.
Why stop it? 2, let's go.
Here we go, as spawning in at the top right-hand corner of this elimination match. Again, the loser of this series gets knocked out of the entire tournament, not just the group. And we'll find out who it is, as in the top right-hand corner, we have our South Korean Terran player representing Team NV. It is Jinioh.
And spawning in the bottom left with his tournament life on the line, going for a very aggressive pull already, it is our unorthodox Zerg threepoint. I love that decal. Is that from, what is that?
Squid Game.
I haven't seen it.
What? You haven't
I've
seen?
been living under a rock,
Oh,
puppy.
you're calling me the boomer, mate. Hey, SMH, mate. SMH. This
Sorry,
is
I
the real
played-
guy who pushes P, mate.
I played Terra and I only have time to play StarCraft. It's too hard, puppy.
Ah. Oh god. Well, this was a 12 pool opening from our Zerg player. So 12 pool in ZVT. Let's go. 8 Lings are on the way. But again, threepoint has a reputation. People know who he is, and I have to assume that the Koreans especially know who he is.
Yeah, this is a very aggressive opener. So what I expect we'll be seeing is this natural is going to be immediately cancelled as soon as he sees what's going on. Even sending the SCV on a bit of an odd path.
Yeah, it did move over towards the right first, but it will confirm all of these Lings, and we should be seeing it cancel shortly at this base. There's no way for Jinioh to really hold on here, as, oh my god, the Lings are about to rock up, and...
Yeah, I guess he can just soak up a little bit of damage, just buy a little time for himself here, but... the SCVs right away, I'm not sure about this. There's a cancel.
Yeah, we do see the cancel in the end. Unfortunately, the wall is not a wall. Another SCV gets surrounded, mate. There are a lot of Lings here, and it looks like this factory is going to be delayed.
Yeah, you can see the power of these unorthodox openings. 12 pool is not really something you normally see against Terran, and it is something that will really catch you off guard. Not something you get a lot of practice against. Oh, this Reaper is getting very low.
Oh my god, it's terrifying how low it is. Meanwhile, 5 SCVs have gone down. The first Marine went down as well. The Reaper!
Yeah, this is already huge damage, so much mining time, and behind this is just droning. So this is a huge lead that he's amassing for himself, and the SCV is still not back on mining.
Oh my god, exactly. We even had the mules being pulled as well. There's still no CC. There we go. It is finally being built here, but Jinioh, he is far behind when it comes to the economy. He does have this Reaper, thankfully, so he'll be able to move out and scout. But that was rough.
Yeah, this Reaper will just check if there's any follow-up aggression coming his way, but this is the moment as a Terran player where your heart is sinking.
Yeah, like even scouting like gases and like a Roach Warren may feel even better than just seeing mass drone. It's like, oh, I'm like so far behind.
Yeah, this is a very difficult situation because really the aggression doesn't have to be now. The aggression can be very soon after. Like we haven't seen a third yet. We haven't seen what the tech is going to be. He has got a quick 2 gases, so yeah, maybe we'll see a bit of that early lair again.
Yeah, like again, when you're rushing gases like this, if you so wish, you can skip link speed and again, use your gas elsewhere, whether it's for a lair, whether it's for a Roach Warren, whether it's for something else crazy instead. We do see though, he opts not to skip his link speed, so link speed is still going to be on the way as the Reaper actually outmaneuvers these queens. Oh my god.
Yeah, he does miss the drone, but he's going to be able to sneak in and just get a good look at everything that's going on, check out the drone count, and also going to see the tech in the main. It's very important to scout.
Oh yeah. Confirms that we only have 2 gases, not 4 gases for his opponent. That the spawning pool is researching, so he's not going to be skipping link speed. So again, I'm sure he is keeping his mind at ease at least a little bit. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god!
Oh, there's a hatch. When did that happen?
Oh my
What?
god! He's leapfrogging creep! Oh,
he's walking the queens.
He's crazy! He's canceling to spread creep!
Oh
my god!
Oh my goodness. What is this? This is insane.
What a giga chad! Look at this madman! Wait, who said Queen Walks were dead?
Is Papa Panda in the chat? We need to find Papa Panda's stat. Get him on this.
The leapfrog of the hatcheries is creep all over the place. At the same time,
This is incredible.
Hellion run by
big
and there's not a lot
Hellion
here to protect the drones.
Yeah, with all those queens out on the map, there's actually a little bit of defense lacking back here, and for all the fancy tricks, just the brute force of driving these Hellions in, and suddenly this game's looking a lot more even. Almost even on worker count, which is not good for the Zerg.
Yeah, exactly. This is terrifying, but you know what, mate? We got queens. They can't transfuse yet, but soon they will with that creep extending. What do we have to defend? We have Hellions. We are going to have a Banshee, but there is no cloak, so the queens, they're going to be here to respond.
Yeah, these hatch cancels have been perfectly spaced so that the creep extends almost the entire way, and we're just seeing him flood Lings now.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like, I was so confused because of the 1-1. Meanwhile, the first Banshee is actually going to get taken out across the map. Aye, but 1-1 is actually going to kick in and not too shortly. Meanwhile, Transfuse!
Yeah, he gets back onto that little creep island that he's made for himself there to get the transfuses going, and we see a spore on the island. This is such a creative strategy. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, in case there was cloak on those Banshees, he is now prepared. Of course, we know that there was no cloak. Instead, we have concussive shell finishing up here, and this will definitely help out, but we don't have any Marauders yet. Okay, never mind. We do have one Marauder here in the midst of all this, and that will help against those Queens.
We did see one small shot on the CC. Learning from Vindicta's series that asserting dominance is very important in these situations.
Look at all the Queens!
Yeah, I love the way he's positioning his Lings here, just using the Queens to slowly apply pressure while the Lings thread in their SCVs.
Yeah,
very methodical.
And you know what? 1-1 is finishing up. +1 melee is done. +1 carapace is about to finish up as well, so this will impact all these things, and that'll make him that much stronger against the Hellions.
Yeah, and creep covering the entire map. There's a creep highway going straight from the natural to Jinioh's natural, and this is such a aggressive, crazy opening. And he's found his opening.
Yeah, we see a full surround on the Hellions as well. Every single Hellion is going down here. The Banshee's going to be able to do what it can, but still, there's so much anti-air. GG gets called!
Wow, what a crazy game. That was so cool.
Oh my god.
Well, that did not disappoint.
And this is why we were here for this group. This is why this is one of the main reasons why I was able to drag AsherBro, and he's like, yo, Vindicta, he's my boy, but also 3-point. Let's go. Oh my god.
That was crazy. I mean, I've seen Raynor do that once where he cancelled one hatch just to get the creep going a bit faster. But he must have cancelled 5 hatches almost?
Yeah. It was at least 5, maybe 6. I know there was he tried to cancel towards that third base as well, but he didn't commit to that creep tumor. I've never seen that before. Like the commitment to that was crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's like more than 300 minerals just on getting that going.
Yeah, and the thing is that like that was very methodical as well, because the 1-1 timing actually hit almost perfectly there with all those Lings. Like he was being so conservative with his Lings, leaving them in the backline, waiting for the moment where he had his upgrades, and then he could go in for the kill. Wow.
Yeah, very creative, but very well thought out. Obviously something he's practiced before, and yeah, that was awesome.
Oh my god, Vindicta, I hope you're watching, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if he does get through, this is very good scouting for Vindicta just to see these crazy strategies.
100%. If you're there in the chat, if you are in Miguelito's Discord, at him, tell him to watch, because this is the kind of stuff that you need a heads up on, because if you never see this before, it can be so jarring, it can be so just distracting. Like you need to formulate something to counter it. Meanwhile, here we go. We're diving into game 2 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. We have our South Korean Terran player representing Team NV, currently down in the series. One more loss and he is eliminated from this group. Representing Team NV, it is Jinioh.
And spawning up in the top left. Crazy wild plays coming out of this Zerg. So excited to see what he's got in store for this game. It is 3-point.
What? So
okay,
I thought he was going for a 13-12, but no, he's actually committing to the gases.
Yeah, so I actually know exactly what this is, because this is what he did to me on this map. So Berlingrad with the shortest rush distance is a map that we're actually seeing this strategy from Zerg players a lot now, and we're going to see the Roach Warren straight away. This is a 12-pull Ravager, and it's a very aggressive build, but a great choice for this map. So we'll probably see him send out a drone ahead. Yeah, there we go. And this drone's just going to mine out the minerals and make this even shorter as a rush distance.
Oh boy, and okay, so now because this has happened to you and you've had some time to think on it and sit on it and maybe theorize a little bit, as Jinioh is going to SCV scout this, what do you think that Terran has to do to prepare himself physically and mentally?
Yeah, so first what we're seeing straight away, not getting that natural, that's very important. We also want to see a bunker, preferably right between these depots. I'm not really sure how that's going to work with the reactor first, but at the same time, with the reactor first, he's going to have a little bit more Marines than usual, which is going to help him a lot with defending this. But straight after this, we're going to have to see a Cyclone out as fast as possible.
Oh boy, here we go. We should be seeing a factory thrown down shortly. As, again, Jinioh was able to scout all of this. He confirmed even the roach warren behind the mineral line, so he should be well aware of what is coming his way. Bunker being thrown down, 2 bunkers even. Oh boy, taking this very seriously.
So 2 bunkers, definitely the right response here, but he is still probably going to lose at least one of these depots.
Yeah, we're gonna have high ground vision because of this Overlord. We do have 2 Ravagers on the way. Meanwhile, he's going 1 base lair.
A lair?
Mutas?
Maybe. I've never seen this before. This is wild.
Oh my God.
He makes only 2 Ravagers, pretty much faking out the actual build that this normally is.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Maybe playing on his own image as well. I presume these guys have played a little bit before.
I mean, he will get that 1 bunker that you were talking about. He at least gets 1. He still has a lot of potential with these Ravager piles. But 1 base layer, like, the only thing I can think of, it shouldn't be a Nidus just because there's no units to really Nidus out across the map. Sure, it could be Roach speed, but, like, his opponent's already ready for Roaches. So, like, Mutas or maybe an Infestation Pit?
Yeah, I guess he could rush to Hive. That would be absolutely crazy. But yeah, already getting plenty of damage with the commitment of only 2 Ravagers is a pretty good situation for him. And it does look like Jinioh's catching on to the low commitment, trying to get the Marines out the poke.
Exactly.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
see what a... Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the reactor goes down and we see it is a Spire.
Wow. It's been such a nuisance with these 2 Ravagers as well, just keeping Jinioh so busy right now. And yeah, these Mutas really going to make it very difficult for him to establish a natural.
It really will. This is going to be so interesting, especially because, like, we have a, like, so 3-point should be aware that he's forcing out Cyclones. So we are going to have some decent anti-air. We are going to have 2 Cyclones. Part of me feels like if Jinioh just pushes out across the map, he may just be able to end the game. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, but
we're not going to have a lot of Mutas to work with.
How would you ever expect that this is what your opponent is doing?
True.
One thing that you normally see against his strategy quite often is 2 Cyclones and a medevac going across just to see what kind of damage they can get. And I think that might be what these Mutas are designed to catch, because 2 Cyclones and a medevac are not getting away from a flock of Mutas.
Yeah, exactly. And the starport is still on the way. It's still being produced. So I guess we're not going to see a move out anytime soon. 3-point is going to be able to get away with this. 5 Mutas are on the way. He has his natural base kind of set up here. His drone count is absolutely awful. So he's not going to have a lot of Mutas to work with. But 5 Mutas are enough to one-shot workers.
Yeah, I can only expect that these 5 Mutas are designed to catch Cyclones out on the map, which he might do, but actually seeing 3 Cyclones from Jinioh. Yeah, I'm not really sure how much he can get done with these Mutas here.
We'll see. The Mutas, they go across the map, and again, they can one-shot SCVs. The Marines are all on the low ground, so his main base is very exposed, and again, these Cyclones are out of position. Or are they?
Yeah, they are actually going to get a lot of damage here. This is very awkward for 3-point to defend, and this could spiral out of control, but there we go. The Muta's already getting 3 SCVs. This is, I can assure you, the last thing Jinioh expected.
He's like, the hell? A little bit of miscontrol. One of the Mutas does get picked up. Only 4 Mutas already. No! 3-point!
Yeah, maybe a little distracted for a moment there. The Cyclones have come home, and he needs to get these Mutas out of here as soon as he can.
Yeah, we have a lock on. Another Muta goes down. Only 3 Mutas remaining. Soon to be even less than that. The Muta threat for the most part. Oh, he's going to get even more SCVs.
Yeah, this is starting to become an issue. Already 11 SCVs, and he's just really being such a nuisance here.
Yeah, he just keeps bouncing between the bases. He even gets a mule.
Yeah, this is quite a bit of damage for only losing 2 Mutas so far, but the Cyclones are going to catch that 1 Muta.
Yeah,
It looks like he's happy to lose them.
well, yeah, like he's transitioning into roaches, and look at the worker count now. Like that was a lot of damage. 15 SCVs.
Yeah, so I really don't understand, to be honest. The drone count's still pretty close to the SCV count. And now he's looking for a roach timing, but the cyclones, they're still there, and the bunkers are still there.
True, and the tank is on the way. To be fair, the tank may not be ready for this first push, so maybe this is like 3point's plan, is that he's been able to recall this chaos, and now he can just kind of catch his opponent unawares. But Stim is beautifully timed, and in a couple of seconds, he's going to have it, and I feel like Jinioh should be able to hold this.
Yeah, I mean, realizing the situation, 3point immediately dives on all the units, but this is not going well for him.
Yeah, Stim is done. Jinioh is going to be able to swallow up all of these roaches, and that is it. That is the army of 3point, and GG, Jinioh holds.
Wow, that was absolutely crazy, Dan. That's so cool. I mean, I've got to be honest, I'm not really sure what those 5 meters were supposed to do, because the reaction for the Ravager push actually sets you up pretty well to ensure that you're going to kill some of those mutas as they come across the map.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, hey, sure, he's going mutas, but you just force your opponent to make Marines and Cyclones. It's like, is this really what you want? I mean, it's hard to criticize because, let's be honest, those mutas paid for themselves. They didn't just get 15 SCVs. They got a lot of mules as well. They forced a lot of mining time. Like, they did get a lot of damage done, but it wasn't really, like, you know, it didn't, it wasn't, like, crippling damage either. Like,
I feel like the mind games were just on too many levels. It feels like he forced out a response that ended up being quite the right response for his follow-up.
Yeah, maybe 3point needs to go back to the drawing board on that one. I don't know. But regardless, what a game. That was beautiful. And my body is ready to see what the hell is going to happen in game 3. Because I have no idea. I just want something different. As we are going to be loading into game number 3, we have our ace match once again. This will be our final game of this elimination match. One moves on to face Vindicta. The other, they're done. They are out of the tournament. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes ALE, we have the South Korean Terran player able to defend the nonsense that was thrown at him in game number 2. Representing Team NV, it is Jinioh.
And spawning up in the top right, playing for Team Genesis and starting off with the spawning pool, it would almost feel wrong if there wasn't one. It is 3point.
I love this man. 12 pool on Glittering Ashes. One of the longest rush distance maps in the map pool. 12 pool.
Yeah, I was just about to start talking about how we saw a 12 pool on Berlingrad because it's such a short map, and I don't think we're going to be seeing one on Glittering Ashes, but I think he just starts with one in his base. He's got a different version of StarCraft installed, man.
Oh my god, exactly, man, exactly. He's just built different. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's up to you. It's up to the viewer. Personally, I love it. Again, he's just different from everyone else, and we'll see how this will work here because, again, this is going to get scouted, and this will take a little bit longer to really hit across the map.
Yeah, this is a great adjustment from Jinioh, sending out a very early scout. This is not something that you normally want to do unless you expect your opponent to 12 pool. It's economically not that great for the Terran to send out this scout so early, but seeing the way that 3point's like to play the series so far, I think it's a great decision.
Definitely. Also, I don't know if you noticed something, but there was a really cute adjustment from 3point as well. He made 6 lings. He had another pair of lings on the way, but after he got SCV scouted, he actually canceled them and just droned up instead. So recognizing that, again, like there won't be a CC on the low ground to cancel, he isn't going to commit as much, and he, you know, he respects Jinioh enough to drone up from here.
Yeah, this is one of the strengths that comes from having such an unorthodox style is Your opponent might have a small handful of games that they've played against it and have some adjustments that they can make on the fly. But you've seen everything that there is to see in this situation. So you know what small adjustments you need to make. And looks like he's just, pulling it back a little bit on the aggression.
Yeah, he backs off, he drones up. He's going to be taking one of his gases. What's interesting is that, again, only one gas for the time being. He didn't rush a second gas geyser out. But what is a little bit scary is that he doesn't see what's happening in the main base. As we can see, Jinioh is getting ready for a big boy counterattack.
There's 3 racks already. Possibly just looking for a standard 3 racks, but without any add-on on the first rack so far. Could be something even earlier.
Yeah. Regardless, there's gonna be a lot of bio units. There's gonna be a lot, and 3point is going to have to be ready here. Meanwhile, somehow, some way, this SCV got into the main base, confirming that there was only one gas in the main. Oh my god.
Yeah, very nice scouting. And yeah, it looks like with the 2 tech labs coming down, we are seeing a 3 racks coming out of Jinioh. This is a very good way to play against a more cheesy player. Depending on whether it's roaches, whether it's mutas. This is a very strong opening to deal with those early pressures.
Definitely. I also love the little cheeky move here he had with the CC. He does take down that Overlord. I'm not quite supply blocking 3point, but again, just denying vision, just keeping him in the dark as much as possible. As Jinioh, for the first time this series, is he taking... He's taking the third base, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're seeing that, and he's not canceling it and making an Evo. It's a hatchery.
Oh, he's crazy. He's expanding.
Yeah, I guess he got the memo. It is a big map, and he's gonna look for something a little bit later. Almost looks like a standard game. I don't know what to say.
We even have an Evo chamber here in the main base as well. I imagine for +1 carapace. No, never mind.
Ooh.
Goes for melee instead.
Yeah, maybe looking for a bit of a Ling flood later on, and we are seeing creep spreading in his own base. What? Question mark?
What?
It should be across the map. There's no hatch cancels.
What is happening?
Why is the creep on his side of the map?
I know, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's something we've never seen before from 3point.
Innovation.
But as you said, again, +1 melee does kind of signify aggression, but we see a second Evo chamber, so that also puts things into question as well, because now he's going to work on a second upgrade and for a later timing, so I don't know what the hell we're seeing. I guess +1 melee, I guess I would say that this is a great way to make up for the fact that he's going very light on gas and he doesn't have a safety Baneling Nest either.
Yeah, this is also, if he isn't going to go for the Baneling Nest, suspecting maybe something like a 2-on-1 with the high Marine count, this definitely does make sense to go for a more Evo Ling, Queen Ling based style just to defend this. Because, even with the crazy styles that 3point has, there does come a time where you do have to be the defender.
Yeah, as much as he hates it, sometimes that is the case. As we do eventually see, there we go, Lair, a second gas is being taken. We do have a Baneling Nest, so we are going to be seeing some Ling Bane from him. And Jinioh is even, expanding and taking a third base from here. I assumed that he was going to maybe try and hit a timing with like stim and combat shields, but no, he's again being a little bit more passive with his 3 racks.
Mate, I think he's just happy that he gets to take a third. He might not have thought this was going to happen today.
Let's go. And I'm sure Jinioh feels a little more comfortable right now. He's like, mate, standard, for the most part, standard ZBT, let's go. Like, I can actually play out my game.
Yeah, so it looks like the 3 racks really was just a defensive idea, just expecting some kind of crazy roach Rav push and maybe having the stim ready like he did in that last game just to shut it down. So we are seeing, as these medevacs finish up, he's just going to send them out to meet up with the... Oh, there we go. To meet up with the Marines and put a bit of pressure on here.
Yeah, they're moving out across the map. Medevacs are on the way. At the same time, we do have a couple of Lings in position, I imagine, to slip in and maybe get a little bit of damage done. We'll see if that's going to be the case. And what do we have at home to defend? We got plenty of Lings, plenty of Queens. I feel like 3point, he should be fine.
Taking a 4th, mate.
Oh my...
Is he okay?
Oh my god. Does he should we call an ambulance? Should we?
These queens getting some really good damage on the medevacs. They're just going to boost straight into the main. Meanwhile, attacking at the third at the same time.
Yeah, and at the same time, there was also a bit of a Ling run by there at that third base. So 10 SCVs go down. At the same time, 6 drones go down. Even a drop into the main.
Yeah, the creep and the spore not quite reaching the edge of the main there, but it looks like there's enough damage on that medevac just to shoot it away.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And after all said and done, 3-point still maintains a worker lead, thankfully. Again, a lot of that is because of that counterattack. But Jinioh, he didn't lose too much, thankfully, or what he did lose was just Marines, at least.
They're just sending that low HP medevac home to get healed up, and it's just going to continue to have a bit of map presence with this medevac, but this is looking pretty good for 3-point. He gets his fourth, he doesn't take too much damage, and heading into a macro game on a map that really is quite strong for Zerg.
Yeah, and this is where I start to wonder, okay, 3-point, how does he play a macro game? Because we see Ling Bane to start with, and that's, you know, the bread and butter of ZVT. But from here, are we going to see a Spire from Mutas? Are we going to see Lunkers? Are we going to see, you know, Ling Bane straight into Ultra? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah, with those fast upgrades, I'd be pretty surprised if we see Spire. Probably just looking to stay on Ling Bane for a while, and yeah, maybe tech into fast Ultras or a Lurker style.
Meanwhile, these Lings actually managed to break into that third base, force the army to turn around. 8 more SCVs go down. Jinioh, his workers just keep getting harassed time and time again.
Yeah, this is great damage, just being so annoying with these Lings, getting every little bit he can out of them.
Oh boy, and I think it's happening. We see an infestation pit. This does kind of reek of fast ultras. So that we'll see if that is going to be the case. Meanwhile, a little bit of a mailing run by no, the breeze barely. They do scout it. Oh god.
Oh, these mines are very well placed to go with these Banes. Only a few are gonna get through, but the splits are good. Splits are pretty good.
Oh god, they are pretty good. So in the end, only 8 SCVs go down. It could have been worse. Could have been much, much worse. But that also still distracted the main army of Jinioh.
Yeah, it's just being such a nuisance, constantly sending these Lings and Banes out. And it is something that you can just keep queuing these problems up for the Terran to deal with. And it's, yeah, very, very difficult to deal with so many things happening at once. But this is looking like a pretty good fight for Jinioh here.
Oh god, yeah, definitely. Like he was forced to fight out of all these things because he had to, of course, protect these Banelings that were looking pretty exposed. Like there's a lot of Marines here. We have some Widowmines to help back them up as well. Drilling claws is on the way, but at the same time, another Ling run by. This time though, there are reinforcements.
Yeah, we're starting to see the weakness of this constant counter-attacking style from 3-point, where suddenly the army for Jinioh is looking pretty scary, and what 3-point has at home is getting smaller and smaller, actually.
Yeah, that's also the risk you take, right? Like Ling Bane can sometimes trade pretty inefficiently here, especially when you're going for all these counterattacks. And like 3-point, he's just waiting. He's waiting for this hive to finish up so he can finally throw down that Ultra Cavern. Oh boy.
Yeah, taking 4 gases here, definitely looking to tech up into some kind of aggressive timing.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, another massive run by Hero towards the bottom right. At the same time, Bailey's are going to be able to crash into this bio army. Very little splits, and 3-point is actually kind of trading well here in these skirmishes. Ooh.
Yeah, just causing enough problems all over the map at the same time really makes it difficult for the Terran, because you don't want to be concentrating and splitting in one area but losing everything in another.
Yeah, exactly. But finally, Jinioh, he has dealt with all the run-bys. He can finally consolidate his army and push out across map. Meanwhile, Hive is done. We have +3 on the way. Macro Hatch and actually no Ultra Cavern. So we just see pure Ling Bane for the time being.
Yeah, we are seeing Burrow coming, maybe for some Baneling landmines. And he does clean up this push to the left, but coming in on the right, yeah. This is slowly starting to get a bit scary.
Yeah, definitely. There are very few Banelings here, but there just may be an overwhelming number of Lings in total. Yeah, there's just too much here. Not enough bio. Everything gets cleaned up.
Yeah, just too much on the creep. And with 2 rather poor fights there for Jinioh, this is going to get very difficult to deal with, especially with Adrenal starting up now.
Yeah, Adrenal 3-3 is on the way. Like, Jinioh, sorry, 3-point has a pretty substantial upgrade lead. There is that Ultra Cavern that we were talking about. It is finally on the way, so you can get into those high-tech Ultras. And Jinioh just doesn't really seem to be prepared for this. Like, he does have a decent Marauder count, and he's working on 4 Marauders at a time, but like, he doesn't have Ghosts, he doesn't have Libs.
Yeah, we are seeing some of the difficulties of playing more of a protracted game on this map. There's just so many paths for the Lings to catch the army off guard, to set up little counterattacks here and there. And yeah, you can really see that Jinioh's having a lot of trouble knowing whether he can push out or whether he needs to stay home and defend.
Yeah, every single time he moves out, just Lings run by. Like, we even have another patch of Lings here on the left-hand side, ready to dive in whenever they see an opportunity. Like, it's so difficult to really pull off. There we go, Jinioh, he finally shows his hand, pushing out. Same time, Lings go for that run by.
Yeah, I feel like this is the Zerg dream, just living out the fantasy of the Swarm, just sending Lings, Banelings everywhere.
Oh god,
and yeah, I think he's got enough for this.
Oh, decent Widowmine shot does go for the majority of the Banelings, but there's still just so much Ling Bane left over, and it's still going to overwhelm everything, mate.
Yeah, honestly, this isn't even a strong timing for 3-point, but he just always has enough in position to deal with these pushes.
Yeah, he just has so much lava to work with. Like, he's got the macro hatch in the main base. He's up to 4, 5, 6 bases now on the way here for 3-point. His creep spread isn't anything amazing, but it's enough, right? He's covering his own bases, and he's very rarely fighting off of creep.
Yeah, he's managed to have just enough creep for all these fights, and I think it's a good scam. Cotton onto what was happening there, but I think with these ultras coming out, with all the damage that Jinioh's been taking and the little success that he's had with the pushes, it's going to be very hard for him to deal with this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Jinioh, he just doesn't have the supply right now. I just only realized, like, look at the worker count as well. He's working off a very low SCV count because of all the run bys. He just hasn't been rebuilding them.
Yeah, I guess in such a chaotic game like this, it's a bit hard to remember where you're at with that and to keep good track of how much damage you've taken. And, the Lings have a huge surround. There's a pretty good mine hits. Oh, and they actually take out so much bio.
The mine drags were insane. Meanwhile, Jinioh, he has a bit of a double jump, but no, there are Bailey's here to defend. This will get cleaned up.
Nothing's going right for him, and honestly, even if he took out that base, it's barely even mining yet. Yeah. He can live with losing this base.
Yeah, mate, it's 3-point. He doesn't care about bases. He doesn't need it.
Mate, he's never had a 6 before. This is new territory.
Oh my god. We're breaking new ground, people. It's 3-point. He's across the map. Ultras are finally here as well. Looking at the upgrades, they do have kindness plating. They do have ultra speed. They have everything that they need here, even 3-3.
Yeah, and this PF going down, that's devastating. There's hardly any CCs here for Jinioh. Normally at this stage of the game, you'd be hoping to have quite a few backup CCs, and yeah, there we go. GG's called.
GG, well played. 3 points, not in a cheesy game, but in a macro game. He looks dominant, mate. Oh my god. That was great.
Yeah, really showing the breadth of his play and showing that he's not just like some kind of one-trick pony that has to rely on these like creative builds, that he can actually play a more standard macro game and has all the skills required.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where I think my theory is that 3-point, he can play macro. I just think he doesn't enjoy it. He's like, ugh, fine, the game is gonna last longer than 10 minutes. Ugh, okay. Like,
wait, I gotta say, that looks pretty fun. It's just pulling him apart everywhere. And yeah. Just always had enough defense at home to deal with the pushes.
Very strong showing there. Congratulations to 3 points. My condolences go out to Jinioh. He did go all the way to the ace match, but his tournament run ends here. He gets knocked out of who is Amateur King. He is not the Amateur King. He is knocked out here in the group stage.
Good showing. He definitely showed some strong games, but just not strong enough to get through these players.
Yeah, exactly. And now we move on to the final series of the night, the decider match. As I'm showing off here on screen how the group has turned out so far. A pretty wide breadth of variety here in this group. No more Protosses are left. Only 1 Terran and 1 Zerg. Yeah.
So we're seeing our boy Vindicta and I'm sure he was. I hope he was watching those
Yeah.
games, trying to get a bit of an idea of what he might be expecting.
Oh, I hope so as well. I'm a little bit scared because I don't see him in the chat. Hopefully, hopefully he's watching. Hopefully he was paying attention. Because again, threepoint is a very unique player, and I feel like you do get a lot from watching his games and observing how he plays.
Yeah, I know he definitely is familiar with threepoint as a player, so hopefully he has some idea of what to expect. But yeah. I don't even know if it would have helped to see those games. He showed such a variety of different players.
True. Some of it looking really good, some of it not so much. You know, with the Berlin game.
Yeah, I mean, so when I played him and he did that strategy, he actually just followed it up with a 1-1 roach push, and I think that probably would be a stronger way to play it out in some ways.
Yeah. I imagine so. We'll see if we get there. We'll see what the vetoes turn out to be, as it's possible that because threepoint only does that on Berlingrad, maybe Vindicta would want to get rid of it, or maybe he thinks that he can get a good read on it and wants threepoint to try and do that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy to see a Terran veto Berlingrad, but obviously it is a map that threepoint has some special strategies for.
It's one of those things where if he like becomes a little bit trendy on that, then he can become a little bit predictable as well. So maybe it would be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we are just getting ready, the players are here. They are just conducting their vetoes and preparing themselves for the final series. And I'm kind of on the edge of my seat because, mate, I love my boy Vindicta, but this is like you know, threepoint. He's one of those players. He can come out. He's like Miyomaika. Like, I could see him beating Maru. You know.
Yeah. He's got that X factor. He's got the wild builds.
Yeah.
He could catch anyone off guard, and yeah, I hope for our boy Vindicta that he's dotting his I's and crossing his T's, because he's going to need to against a player like this.
But he really will, as we are getting our vetoes through, and it looks like Berlin was not vetoed. We will have it regardless of how this series will go. Even if it's only 2 games, Berlingrad will be there.
Let's go.
Oh god,
I might just grab some water if that's alright.
go for it. I mean, you're gonna need it. Everyone is gonna need it. Everyone, hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, drain your disruptors. We have a little bit of time before our final series, before we get underway here. Thankfully, AsherBro was able to join the lobby. Oh god. As we are just setting on up. Oh boy. Again, as a reminder, this is it. This is going to be the final series of the night. And this will determine who moves on to that playoff bracket. So far, we already have 2 players confirmed. Trigger and Hon Mono from Group B will be there in those best of 5 quarterfinals. Oh.
All right, let's go. I'm pumped.
Let's go, everyone. Get your peas ready, because this is going to be a banger of a series.
Prepare your peas, please.
And mate, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, so spawning up in the top right is representing the CranKy Ducklings, and he is pushing the P. It is Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres ALE, we have a very different kind of player. Pushing his own kind of P. Maybe he's pulling it, I don't know. Oh god. Representing Genesis Gaming, it is threepoint.
Man, you thought he was going to push P, his pulling P.
Let's go. And he doesn't go for a 12 pull, but he goes for a gas first.
Yeah, so gas pull. Okay,
Oh
okay.
my
What kind of
God.
thing do you think we're going to see off this?
Well, he's gonna have a lot of gas to work with. Immediately, he can dive into, oh my God, as we do see Lord Loka, thank you so much for the 3K bits, let's go!
Yo, huge, let's go.
Thank you so much, but this means that you can get link speed very quickly. If he doesn't pull out of gas, we could see a Baneling nest as well. We could just see a Bane bust in general here from 3-point.
I can't stop watching that drone. There's this one drone, do you see it? It's going like on the second from the top minerals. When it goes back, it just goes up.
Yeah,
what's it doing, man? It's drunk.
He's drunk, mate. He's drunk. He's failing the line test, mate. What's going on? Why is that happening? Look at him go.
I have no idea. I think that's a glitch. And now both of them are doing it.
Oh my God.
Tell the intern.
Aye. Meanwhile, this is scouted, by the way, and what's important is that 3-point didn't pull out of gas. He's gathering all those minerals. He has enough for a Baneling nest. Of course, he wants to get rid of this SCV first, and it's not a Baneling nest, it's a Roach Warren!
Wow, the mind games. And we are seeing as well, so Vindicta doing what it took till the third game for Jinioh to do as an adjustment, sending the very early SCV scout to see exactly what's going on. And this does allow him to send this Reaper across the map, knowing that it's not too many lings that are being committed to.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, the Reaper is going to be able to get into that main base. He should be able to confirm that the Roach Warren is on the way, but it's not just a Roach Warren, there's Burrow as well.
Yeah, this is a huge scout, and seeing this wiggling, I guess it looks like a queen.
Yeah,
but he might eventually notice that no queen comes out if he stays around for long enough.
True. Regardless, he scouted what was important, which is the Roach Warren. So he knows that roaches are going to be on the way. We already have a bunker here on the low ground. We're going to have a second bunker as well. Bold move. He wants to hold on the low ground, not on the high ground.
Yeah, I really like this, knowing that nothing's going to be coming right away, and he does have time to set up his defenses. We're actually seeing a mine. Kind of interesting.
Oh, okay. Widowmine is going to be coming. I mean, I guess Widowmines are more useful than Hellions, I guess. So it kind of makes sense if you want to rush out as many units as possible. We can see Vindicta even confirms the timing of the roaches as they come across the map. But what's important about Burrow is that it's kind of like Blink, because if a roach gets a little bit too low, then if you have the control for it, you can burrow it and it will stay alive and it will regen that HP.
Yeah, I have actually seen this build before on Boom's stream. With someone that has a lot of APM and like a lot of experience in these kind of situations. Puppy, no. With someone that has a lot of experience in these situations, you could be such a nuisance with these, forcing out scans and just putting them all in separate corners of the main. Very annoying to deal with. And yeah, I think as soon as Vindicta realizes what he's dealing with, hopefully we'll see an eBay go down so we can get a turret.
And he just runs past the bunker, does end up burrowing. We do see a scan though, and there we go immediately. One of the roaches does go down, but he can burrow again. Oh.
Yeah, really nice catch there, using the SCVs just to hold the roach inside the scan. Yeah, you can see how annoying this is to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be forced to at least use one more scan. We do have a bit of a lock on here, but again, the burrow is insane.
Yeah, this is just such a pain to deal with. And so he does set up his units near to the roaches. That's a great scan there, just getting both the units at the same time, using the extra SCVs just to make sure it can't get away.
Yeah, exactly. We even have a Raven on the... I love it. Just build a Raven.
Yo, Twitch chat was right.
Twitch chat was right. Just build a Raven 4 heads, so Vindicta will be able to clean all of this up. But what's important is that we had a very fast lair. All gases are being taken. This screams, yep, there it is, Spire.
Yeah, so yeah, this kind of makes sense. Like if you force out the Raven as well. Oh, great scan there. Sees a lair, that's very important. Sees a double gas as well. So yeah, with the Raven, obviously that's not going to help too much with the mutas, and that's quite a big investment too.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting dynamic here because obviously 2-base muta, let's go. We don't see it too often, but this is going to work even better than that Berlin game versus Jinioh. Oh, we see a scan!
Oh, what a scan. Let's go! That's such an important scan there for Vindicta, and he knows exactly what he's up against now, and he's got to be feeling pretty happy with himself.
Yeah, feels good, man. And now we see an immediate cancel into double even.
Always expect the unexpected.
Never let him see you coming, mate. He knows. I love this. Again, if your opponent's going to be prepared and they are making missile turrets, like Mutas, they aren't going to do anything. Like 3-point, he respects his opponent enough to recognize that. So instead, he's transitioning and he's actually doubling down on roaches of all things.
Yeah, but the question I have here is Vindicta's time spent on the NA server really going to help him out here? Because this is honestly something you see a lot. Like when you scout the Roach Warren, the Roach get cancelled and it's Speedlings. When you scout the Spire gets cancelled. I think he's going to know that at some stage when these mutas don't show up, he needs to confirm again what's going on.
He really does. He really does. Because there could be anything happening, right? We could just see 1-1 into a Baneling Nest into Ling Bane, which we saw, you know, on Glittering Ashes in the previous series, that 3-point can do very well with Ling Bane in a macro game. We see, again, it's going to be a very strong Roach time push instead, but Vindicta is a little bit in the dark for the time being. And 3-point's being so annoying here. Oh, that's fine. Wait, Raven! See, look at that! Look
yeah, he's got a Raven. 5-head.
5-head, mate!
Yeah, and you can really see exactly what the problem that is created here is by faking the mutas with that factory there on the tech lab, but not producing any siege tanks. Because, yeah, it makes sense. Normally against mutas, siege tank is just a free target. It's free damage for the mutas. But in this situation, he's really going to need them for the defense, and he's only got one.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit scary. We do see a scan here at the third base confirming that it's fully saturated, confirming the gases as well. But this could all be still for mutas. That's the thing. Like, he still hasn't seen those roaches. He still hasn't seen just how big this army is getting.
Yeah, I mean, he sees the injects and he sees that there's a lot of something being made, but probably got a little bit unlucky with the scan timing there that he didn't catch the roaches popping in. Yeah, this push is... yeah, not gonna go too well.
No, it's not. Here we go. The Roach Ravager reveals himself. Oh god, the target fire as well here on the Raven. We do see a bit of a Dorito cannon going off on the army, but the tank is going to go down.
Yeah, just getting whatever damage he can, but this is not all you want to see as Vindicta, and he's just going to try to be as annoying as he can with these medevacs, buy himself enough time to get his defenses set up.
Yeah, he does drop into the main base again, buying time. As you said, he's going to be able to take out a Spore and maybe a little bit more damage. Meanwhile, back at home, he has resumed tank production. He needs as many tanks as possible because 3-point, he's going across the map. He's clearing up these rocks.
Yeah, he's done a really good job there, just splitting off exactly what he needed to deal with the drop and sending everything else across the map. And yeah, this is a huge army. I mean, the supply is, of course, inflated by the Roaches and the Ravagers, but it's still pretty scary difference that he's got going there.
Yeah, like that's just a lot of Ravagers. This is absolutely insane. At the same time, Vindicta is going to go for a bit of a double drop here at the third base, and yo, he is going to find a lot of damage here, is going to be able to target down some of these queens, but at the same time, in comes the Roach Ravager.
Yeah, he just gives up the third straight away. Good decision there. And hopefully he's got enough tanks set up on the high ground here. And actually, with only one Overseer, if he snaps that Overseer, that's huge. There's no high ground vision for 3-point.
True, there is no high ground vision, but across the map, actually, the Marines were able to deal a little bit more damage. They killed every single queen. Not too many drone kills, though. What I'm worried about is that 20 SCVs did go down, and 3-point isn't, like, he isn't trying to force himself up that ramp.
Yeah, so saving himself from an even worse situation, but like you said, with that SCV damage, still going to be a pretty difficult game to play out.
Yeah, it really is. Meanwhile, oh my god, I love this response.
Cool.
Double Banshee production with Hyperflight rotors. Let's go.
Wow. Pulling out the full NA strats. This is really cool. I mean, like, this supply for... One of the problems with going for a big Roach push like this for 3-point is this is supply that you're stuck with. He's almost maxed. He can't build anything else. Yeah. So for Vindicta to completely hard counter this, actually a really good idea. And yeah, once this push goes out, he's going to lose so much.
He really is. Meanwhile, this drop actually is so close to scouting the Hydrogen as well. Like a little bit of an awkward position for the tech, to be honest. But at the same time, the Roach Ravager is once again pushing towards that third base. The Banshee count isn't that high, so it looks like once again the third is going to have to be lifted. But the Banshees reveal themselves.
Yeah, and that hyper speed is... Well, it's not quite finished yet, but once it is, it's going to help with dodging the biles. But that's a lot of SCVs trapped in the corner there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, damage is being done. Like, eventually the Roach Ravager is going to be cleaned up, don't get us wrong, but we're still getting like some decent trades. We're still getting some decent value here.
Yeah, it's just going to try to pick off as much as you can here. And you can see threepoint realizing the danger, realizing how much it's going to lose to these Banshees. Is backing off now. And yeah, the Hyperflight Rotor isn't quite going to kick you in time.
Yeah, exactly. And soon we're going to have anti-air. Hydras are, in fact, on the way. And with enough Hydras, they'll be able to deal with all of these Banshees, especially because we do not have Cloak.
We're also seeing another Raven.
Oh.
I'm not completely sure what that's for, but...
I'm not too sure either. Like, we could see Vindicta get the Hydra in though, if he so wanted. Meanwhile, the Marines are actually meeting up with this army. The Roaches are going to get cleaned up.
Oh, this is an amazing fight for Vindicta, and I think,
wow.
Yeah, just wins the game right there. Great timing there.
Oh my god.
Made the Banshees.
I loved it. Like Vindicta, like we were both, I think, really concerned if the game went on longer, right? Just because of the economic lead that threepoint had, and I feel like Vindicta knew that. So, mate, he just pulled the trigger. He just went for it, and mate, the Zerg threepoint, he just wasn't ready.
Yeah, I think seeing the Hydrogen, recognizing that the transition was on the way, he just found his timing and attacked. And yeah, great killer instinct, and you can see the problem that arises from maxing out on such compositions completely committed in one direction is that you can't change directions until you lose that army.
Oh yeah. And if you lose that army again, that's when you are at your weakest, right? Like all the supply just plummeted, and that transition was taking a little bit too long. So really well played there by Vindicta. Not just the timing of his attack, but also going into the double starport Banshee production. Like that was wild.
Yeah, really interesting adjustment. But yeah, sometimes when your opponent goes down such a dedicated path, you can really hard counter it with something like that. And yeah, very clever play.
Yeah, it was great. Very clever indeed. Vindicta takes a lead in this series. He only needs one more, uno más, to move on to the playoffs. Meanwhile, threepoint, he's got to fight himself back here, fight his way back, and it's on maybe one of his favorite maps. Maybe.
Yeah, so I really do expect we're going to see that 12-pool Ravager out of him on this map. But I also expect that Vindicta is going to know that that's a strategy that he'll be looking for here. So it'll be interesting to see what he's prepared in response.
Yeah, like that's the danger of a group like this. Like the other players, they are watching. So threepoint, are you really going to do it again? Are you going to go 12 pool double gas into a Roach Warren? Like that's kind of predictable at this point. I can't imagine that's the only build that he's comfortable with though on this map.
Mate, if we see the double starport Banshees and then the mutas come in and they take out the Banshees.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. But here we are in potentially the final game of the night. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, this player is up against the wall. He is making drones. He is representing Genesis Gaming. It is threepoint.
And spawning in the bottom right, the blue Terran playing for the CranKy Ducklings. He had to pull deep into his bag of tricks to pull out the win in that last game. Let's see what he's got in store for this game. It is Vindicta. With Mario watching over him.
Oh yeah. Papa Maru watching over our Terran Hope here, and we have a hatch first.
What's he doing? It's madness.
Oh my god.
Yes, a very interesting change of tactics against Vindicta. Maybe playing off that last series that he had with Jinioh, knowing that Vindicta is quite a cerebral player as well, as we saw with that Banshee response, and the kind of player that will hard counter a strategy if he knows it's coming. Yeah, just really keeping him on his toes with the most standard build.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, any other caster, like, or any other moments, like, you'd watch this and it's like, oh, it's a standard ZVT opener, like, nothing to be, like, wild about. As we see the spray. But we know how crazy this is, though. Again, like, for threepoint, to not go for a pool first is insane. And now things are kind of opening up here. Like, are we going to see a standard game from threepoint?
Yeah, so Vindicta doing his diligence again, sending in that very early scout that you wouldn't normally do against most players, but obviously makes a lot of sense versus this player. Sees everything looks standard, chucks down his seal of approval, but still double checking for maybe an early third. And yeah, he's right, early third, other way.
Oh yeah, it is on the way. A little bit of a difference here, and it's not the biggest deal, but 3Point did make 6 lings instead of 4, so he committed a little bit more to these lings, maybe just a little bit afraid of that Reaper. Yeah, just being a little bit inefficient here, but maybe it's a bit of a safety thing, I'm not too sure. Yeah, something you don't see too often.
Tends to be a little bit more often on the a little bit more regular on the Korean server, so especially with this is something that Dark does in almost all of his games.
True.
A lot of the Korean players mirror this. It's just a lot safer against the Reaper. Just keeps everything simple, I guess. Makes sure you can get this creep tumor down.
Yeah. So yeah, just playing safe, which again, like, I don't know if he's used to being the defender. I don't know if he enjoys being the defender, but there we have it. Meanwhile, across the map, Vindicta is opening up with a 2-1-1.
Yeah, so pretty good choice against a more aggressive player, because you do have the higher marine count if something's coming across the map that's a bit crazy. But in this case, it's going to allow him to put on a bit of pressure of his own.
Oh yeah. Obviously, it's a bit of a give and take because he doesn't have a mass amount of Hellions to like deny any kind of creep spread. But at the same time, 3Point isn't necessarily known for his creep spread. So I think he also recognizes that maybe, it's not too worth opening up with the standard 1-1-1. Maybe he sees potential in opening up with those Marines. We go, oh god! Reaper gets surrounded.
Mate, those Hellions, they're not going to do nothing about those 3 queens and the hatch cancels.
True. Oh god. Meanwhile, the Marines are going to reveal themselves here, even though 3Point hasn't gone into the main base. Like, with the sheer amount of Marines, he knows. 2-1-1.
Yeah, this is actually a very big reaction out of Vindicta there to the Lings, possibly expecting some kind of Ling flood or bust. So yeah, clearly has a very good idea of the kind of player that 3Point is.
Like, the whole position micro on these.
Oh, this is wow. Alright, buddy. Alright.
What is happening? I don't see that too often. I'm gonna be real.
That's big flexing. Let's go.
Meanwhile, it is going to be a Ling flood. We have 20 Lings on the way. Baneling Nest is about to finish up as well in time, so these Lings across the map can morph into said Banes. Mate, Vindicta, is he going to be ready for this? We do have a Widowmine on the way, but right now, just pure Marine.
Yeah, so this is just a fairly standard follow-up from the 2-on-1. This is a build that Maru kind of revolutionized in the last year or so, where there's a third medevac that comes after this 2-on-1, so...
Did you see the dance? You danced the Overlord. Actually, unironically, the Lings, they flooding on in! They get in, the wall is not a wall!
Yeah, so actually very lucky for Vindicta that he went in the right direction and he saw this coming, and he didn't send the dropout.
Oh, exactly, and the wall is actually a wall forehead. The secondary wall actually works out. The Banelings connect with nothing.
Wow, very key move there as well, with the 2 SCVs that were left over just to attack the Banes, try to get like a poor connection there, only taking out 1 or 2 SCVs. And yeah, that was a fantastic defense by Vindicta. Almost lost nothing to a very committed attack.
Oh, and he's gonna run into the he runs into the second wave. He sees it. He sees
it again. Honestly, really lucky for him, because that would have been a disaster. Like, this is one of the ways you can deal with a 2-on-1, is to counterattack with a Bane Bust once the drop is committed across the map. But yeah, the timing just hasn't worked out for 3Point here.
Exactly, Vindicta. He sees all. He forces the Ling Bane away towards the corner of the map. He's still going to be committed to this push, but again, we have Widowmines at home to defend. We're going to be seeing some more Marines rallied at home as well. Vindicta he's even not too comfortable pushing out. Just cleans up the Lings in the middle of the map. Yeah,
just clearing a bit of map vision out. Obviously.
No changes. The queen.
Can he trap them off the creep? He sees them. Oh, and this is a huge pick-off.
Wow.
2 queens for free just like that. It's pretty good for him. And yeah, I think just recognizing the danger of the counter-attack, he's going to play it pretty safe here. But yeah, it's looking pretty good for him.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And to be fair to 3-point, like, he's not thinking ahead. We do see double Evo Chambers, 1-1 is on the way, but oh my god, another queen almost gets caught out here. What's important is that 3-point, all of his aggression is for naught. He is forced to stay at home defensively to defend against these drops.
Yeah, but he has dragged those queens right off creep and opened up a bit of an opening here, and we are actually seeing another drop coming down from the left, so already preparing the next prong of the attack.
Yeah,
and this
exactly.
is where the speed of Vindicta really can start to pick his opponents apart.
Yeah, like another queen goes down. Like over time, the queens, they're gonna get lower and lower. We just see a lot of them looking to try and intercept this drop at the same time.
Snipes, mate, let's go. He's sick with it.
Meanwhile, another snipe there, one of the medics at the same time, double drop towards the south. This one with Widow Mines.
Yeah, pretty good shots with the Widow Mines there. Just trying to eke out value over time with all these little drops. So close.
Yeah,
He baits him in. But he sees it.
Yeah, he sees. Oh, but he also sees the counter.
Yeah, you see this little dance between the units here, and picks up a few more Banes. He's doing really well with sniping those Banes, but obviously losing those medevacs to the top, to the queens at the top was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. At least 3-point was able to alleviate a lot of that pressure there by shutting down those drops. Vindicta forced to back off for the time being, and yeah, forced to saturate this third base, and things are looking to calm down a little bit here, but for the first time, ooh, Hydras are coming out for 3-point.
Yeah, seeing a bit more of a standard macro game from 3-point, and to be honest, this is actually pretty good for Vindicta. Looking at the drone count, they're very close in drones, which is not good for the Zerg, and that's a great spot of mine there as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you'd expect to see a player like 3-point or like a Zerg player in this position to be a little bit more far ahead when it comes to the workers. He is getting a 5th base up and running, which is definitely good, but again, he still needs to resaturate those drones and get a bit of a better lead here.
That's a funny little hotkey thing as well. I think the hotkey for Burrow is the same as the Burrow Mine is the same as Mule. They just like dropped a Mule, like a little mana Mule.
Oh god, mate! The sprays, the mana mules, you know, Vindicta, mate. Like, there's multiple ways to push P. Okay.
Yeah, mate. It's just bringing the NA spirit. We love to see it. We love to see it. Get alive.
Exactly. As we see an infestation bit on the way as well. Oh, this is scouted. The Hydrogen is scouted as well. So even though Vindicta hasn't seen the Hydras themselves, he now is aware of the potential for those lurkers.
Yeah, great timing on the scan there. He should know exactly what he's up against now. And we do see him just continuing with the mine drops, just getting whatever damage he can. And I really like how he's got these mines spread out on the map through the push paths, so he can see what's coming and just get a little bit of damage here and there.
Yeah, it's great. It's something you don't see often enough. Meanwhile,
oh, yeah, and just like that, it's amazing the amount of value that these mines can get out, and yeah, this Ling run-by is not going to do too well for him.
It does nothing. At the same time, the main army isn't going to be able to find a way in. A bit of a Bane run-by. Oh, but the mine takes out all the Banes!
What? Yeah, we are seeing, this is definitely one of Vindicta's strengths as a player, especially in the TBZ, is his multitasking is really, really good. And as a Zerg, when your multitasking is stretched like this, that's when those big mine hits start to happen.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we're seeing. At the same time, Vindicta getting ready to push into 2 places at once. Lurker Den is on the way. At the same time, Ghost Academy even faster on the way here for Vindicta. So he's already getting ready for that tech transition. And we'll see if 3-point has been spread a little bit too thin. There isn't really anything here. The army is forced to move towards the south.
Yeah, he's just doing a really good job pulling him this way and that way. And it's such a difficult dance for 3-point. Trying to work out how much he needs to commit to each side. And with the mines, that's so much APM that he has to dedicate to dealing with these pushes.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually he will deal with them as all of his attention is here towards the south. At the same time, ooh, a lot of overlords get caught out. Massive supply block here for 3-points.
Yeah, just the amount of damage that's opening up as he pulls him this way and that way. And you can see the creep outside this 5th base hasn't been spread at all, and he can push right in on this base.
Yeah, exactly. This base is so vulnerable because of that lack of creep. And we do see that 3-point is attempting to split up his army, but he's got a decent amount here towards the north. Only a handful of Hydras here towards the south, honestly looking very vulnerable. These lurkers as well looking vulnerable. Oh my god.
Yeah, if he catches his lurkers morphing, he probably will jump straight on this, but even still, there's no rush. He's taking very good value trades, as we can see again here. And yeah, this is just looking great for Vindicta right now.
Oh my god, exactly. Meanwhile, he pulls the trigger. He's going to get on top of these Hydras. It looks like he will not get the Lurkers in the end. So there was a little bit of potential there, but he doesn't get it. Regardless, though, he's still doing a great job at just keeping 3-point stuck at home.
Yeah, this is a perfect situation. Like, as the Lurkers are morphing in, everything's happening right at 3-point side of the map, right against the bases. So Vindicta has so much time to set up and prepare for these Lurkers before they can do too much damage.
Yeah, exactly. And there just aren't a lot of Lurkers at the moment on the field. We have 2 more on the way here on the high ground, but only 2 Lurkers. Is that really going to be enough? Like, Vindicta may just be able to get the base.
Yeah, especially with all these mines set up for his push here. This is looking extremely difficult to deal with, and 3-point might just have to give this base up.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, a drop into the natural base of 3-point is going to struggle to deal with this. No mining here at the natural. Gas guys was taken out. A couple of drones getting taken out as well. The Lurkers are repositioning from the south, so it looks like maybe 3-point can hold on to this base, but damage is being done regardless, even in the main.
Yeah, you can visibly see the indecision as he tries to deal with all the different prongs that Vindicta has going on all at once. And yeah, you can really see that even with the Lurkers, is really being asked difficult questions for how to set up his defense.
Exactly. Mate, these Lurkers are so exposed. Oh my god. Vindicta, papi, please.
Man, Lurkers are never exposed. They're cracked, man. They're
True.
broken.
They're covering themselves, mate. As we see a massive counterattack here on the other side of the map. Oh, the Lurkers are getting sniped. Oh my god, the surround.
Yeah, huge surround, and with all the Ling Bane that he's bled off before this, these ghosts are going to be able to work their way through the Lurkers.
Yeah, we just need a scan. There we go. We do see a scan on the front line. Lurkers are being taken out. We do have a token swarm host, as you tend to see here, even at the highest level of ZVTs.
Yeah, the mascot. He has to be there to support the boys.
Oh no!
Yeah, great job there using the Marauders. Oh, why would you slap him? So cruel.
Feels bad, man. The swarm hosts go down. A couple of Lurkers went down as well. Looking at the units tab, okay, we have 5 Lurkers in total. Again, 5 Lurkers, 4 of them completely out of position, by the way. Only one of them really defending the choke point here. Oh god, 3-point. He's got to reposition.
Yes, Vindicta's doing a really good job just keeping the Lurker count low, not overcommitting on creep, just slowly working his way through and taking what damage is presented to him without snatching at it.
Exactly, and now he's just forcing himself even further here into creep. We do see 3-point. He sees an opportunity. He's going to try and get us around on the army.
Yeah, good damage from the mines, but also quite a few ghosts going down here, so this is a difficult point for Vindicta, but with the mine spread that he's already got set up, there's just damage happening all over the place as he pulls back.
Yeah, exactly. We still have another minefield to defend. The ghosts are being dropped as well, but is this an opportunity here for 3-point? The snipes are insane! There's only 4 Lurkers left!
Yeah, beautiful job with the snipers. Makes the most of the one scan there. And this is getting a little scary, but at the same time, the supply is dropping for both players, so...
Yeah, it's just so difficult to call here. Like, it's again just really scrappy in general. Liberators are coming out though, and defensive libs are going to be so good against these Lurkers. We don't have a lot of these Hydras. Was that another dance? There was something. There was a weird animation going on there as the Lurkers all get taken out.
It's like the Hydras were just on hold position, and this was a disaster for 3-point.
AsherBro, that was every single Lurker. That was every Lurker.
Play it again. I want to see it again. I love the kid.
Oh no, the snipes are coming in. The Lurkers are denied. We only have a handful of Hydras and Ling Bane left to defend, and is that even going to be enough?
Yeah, every Terran's dream here. He found the Lurkers morphing. The Lurkers cannot be Lurkers. They're stuck as Hydras, and this base is probably going down.
Oh my god, we do see Ling Bane is going to try and connect. Decent connection there on the bio. We still don't have any Lurkers, just pure Ling Bane. Here we go, another wave of Lurkers is being produced, and it looks like Vindicta barely doesn't have enough because, again, like, he's been taking losses of his own. Like, his worker count isn't that insane, and, like, he's also been trading, so he just doesn't have enough momentum to keep pushing.
Good decision just to pull back here, just to reconsolidate and not throw away any lead that he's got for himself. Like, we can see with the creep spread as well, he's really been able to have a very tight grip on this match. And Threepoint hasn't been able to get much done apart from the occasional counterattack on the third.
Yeah, exactly. And now, the longer this goes on, you can see Vindicta start to skyrocket ahead in that supply. Oh my god, no, the Lurkers! No, Bobby! Oh. 3-point, please. As we see some Liberator harass going on, 7 more drones going down. The army does hit towards the southeast. Lurkers once again looking pretty exposed. Oh, you can't afford to lose 3 Lurkers like this.
Yeah, this is huge, and just all the little things like that Lib just using his speed to create all these problems and chaos. And yeah, this is a bit of a desperate attack here on the third, but he does catch the army out of position.
Yeah, he gets a decent surround here. The Lurkers are going to get into a decent position here in between the third, the fourth, and the natural base here on the high ground, but he just doesn't have enough to protect his Lurkers once again.
Yeah, it's just not enough here. He can kill this with the bio, and yeah, that's the end there. Let's go, Vindicta.
GG, well played. Our CranKy Duckling will move on in this bracket. He didn't move out in the winner's match, but here in the decider match, you know, he just wanted to eke out as much screen time as possible.
Yeah, it wasn't without its difficulties, but a fantastic showing in that TBZ. Really showing some of his strengths and also showing his ability to read the game and know when he's the defender, know when he's the attacker. And yeah, just great showing there overall from Mr. CranKy Mids.
GG, well played. 3-point did make that a close series. Like, even though it was a 2-0, like, I'm sure we were all kind of stressed out about what was happening. There was some there was a lot going on. You never knew what 3-point was going to do next. But at the same time, you could see that maybe he was a little bit overly aggressive. More than once, he just kind of like all army hockey, just like Hail Married across the map. And he was very like he just kept losing lurker after lurker. Like he did not take care of his boys. Ugh.
Yeah, you could really tell all the pressure that Vindicta was putting on forced some almost desperate counterattacks at times just to try to get something else happening on the other side of the map and get some value out of those lurkers.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And with that, my condolences to 3-point. Again, we're big fans. Despite him being a Zerg player, even AsherBro can enjoy some 3-point games. His run ends here. He is knocked out of the tournament. He will not be moving on to the playoffs. And in his place, Vindicta will.
Yeah, I mean, he did make a really strong showing, and I think he earned himself a few fans. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him in whatever he chooses to play next.
Definitely. Be sure to tune into Vindicta, like for the King of Battles qualifiers. I know the American qualifiers, I think, are next week or in the coming days even, so I'm sure he's going to be playing in those. DreamHack is around the corner as well, and of course the playoffs for this very tournament.
Yeah, it'd be great to see what he's got coming up. Lots of different things down the line, and you can also see on his stream, I'm sure he'll be streaming most of his King of Battles qualifiers and that sort of thing, and you can see what crazy weird stuff we get up to on his stream.
True. There it is in the chat. Vindicta_SC2 on Twitch. Be sure to check him out because he's a great streamer, he's a great personality, he's got some sick plays, and he loves to push that P.
True. Sure. If you want to push P, that's where you want to be.
Oh my god. But with that, thank you so much, AsherBro, as well. I know this isn't the first time you're on the channel. You know, we did play team games a couple of weeks ago as well. But thank you so much for joining me for the cast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's fun, and I'm glad I got to cast Vindicta and cast 3-point as well. He's sick.
Yeah, I saw this group. I'm like, man, I need AsherBro to be a part of this. Like, there's no other person better for this. And if people want some more AsherBro, if they want some more AsherBro content, I do know sometimes there's a decent amount of it on someone's Twitch channel.
What do you mean?
Look, I've tuned into Miguel's stream a couple of times where it's just nothing but AsherBro analysis, okay?
Yeah, just the wall of Terran wine. If you want to see that, that's where you can find it, but I don't think anyone wants that.
Fair enough. Oh god. When are we getting AsherBro Twitch streams? That's the real question.
One day. I need to get I haven't even got a camera, honestly.
Oh my god. Get a PC. You play with like a laptop, right?
No, I got a computer.
Okay.
It's just my work computer.
God damn.
Man, imagine if I was playing on a laptop. It'd be crap.
Aye. That's what Oreo does.
Insane.
Oh god. But yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed the games today. They were absolutely insane. If you want to tune in to more of myself, Live VIP, you can follow me over on my Twitch channel. I do have some social media as well. I stream throughout the week, and if you want to tune in to me dying horribly to Protoss, I got you. Like that's I got you on my Twitch channel.
I believe we're gonna get to 30% win rate this season. I believe.
That's too high, mate. That's too high. It's not possible, mate.
Oh no.
Oh god. Meanwhile, if you want to tune into more of our casts, check us out here on the CranKy Ducklings. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. We are all over the place, bringing you as much StarCraft content as we can. Speaking of StarCraft content, our next tournament, our next cast is going to be, I believe, in 1 hour.
Oh wow.
Oh god. So you know, we are going to be saying goodnight to AsherBro, but I did have a nap before our cast because we're going to keep on going. In 1 hour we have a 2v2 Latin American tournament. Fun fact, Vindicta is going to be playing in it.
Yo. Nice one.
Vindicta has teamed up with Smile, aka Fuego, and they are going to be a 2v2 team.
Hype.
Oh god, they're not the only Ducklings. Ryu is going to be there as well. Ryu has teamed up with Chaos Fate. Davo has teamed up with Paco Mike. Basically, a lot of the Latin American players have come together. They've paired up in 2v2 teams, and there is going to be a tournament. And I will be casting that alongside a different CranKy Duckling. I'll be casting alongside Jinioh. We don't know what to expect. We don't cast team games often. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen, but I'm sure Vindicta will stream his POV.
Oh, listen, that sounds like heaps of fun. I will be in veg. That sounds so good.
Tune into the VODs. Don't worry about it.
Yes, sir.
But yes, thank you everyone for watching. You can see there in the chat as well, we have a Patreon page as well if you want to contribute even further. Patreons help us pay for things like Sparkling Tuna Cup, Sea Duckling Open, Masters, like the tournaments that we host here on the CranKy Ducklings. It all gets paid out through that, so you can support us there. But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. I hope you support Vindicta in all his endeavors. And AsherBro, do you have anything else you want to add before we head off?
Terran is the weakest race, and Zerg is overpowered.
Oh god, what are you, Zerg lost? Zerg lost today. What are you talking about?
It's because he tried to play crazy stuff.
Oh god. Shaking my head. GG, well played. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you guys in 1 hour.
Thank you. Bye.
Ah.